Watched it.
We just watched it, and also, could we say a couple of? We went to be going on to Apocalypse in a bit, but we'll just. Well, I'll say this.
This is related to Apocalypse, so we're not on a tangent at all.
No,
it's
yeah,
fine.
perfect.
We're good.
Well, the background audio for the Becca Scott video. I get that, like, they want it to be like cute, like she's an attractive woman. Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely what you would do. That's what you would get to present a thing. Yeah, that makes sense. She articulates herself very well. Great. She has good on-screen charisma. Excellent. FYI, to the video editor did it. You super overblew her face, and all your high contrast output hasn't changed it.
They just released contrast paints. They need to get all the contrast.
Color editor of that. You did a terrible job. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
In order for Rob to give praise, he has to flame someone else.
No, I've color edited stuff for a living.
Yes,
they did a fucking terrible job.
Okay.
But the background audio, what the hell was that?
They could have just taken a track from like the 40K room in the museum.
It was
and
like
played
the
it over the
cantina.
back. Yeah.
But it's not like, I get it being light-hearted, right? Because you're like, I want kids to be able to watch it. Like, I want it to seem almost like a board game. I don't want it to seem like dun, 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 grim and darkness, right?
And then Han Solo kills Greedo.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was so, the music, go watch it. So they've made a microsite for Apocalypse, which we'll talk about in a bit as well. Go watch that and just laugh your balls off, I would say.
Now we've mentioned it, no one's going to be able to unsee that.
Yeah. Just Nikos, thank you for subscribing for 14 months in a row.
So he can make it into the chat, but he can't make it into the show.
He's busy.
Subscribing to the show.
So people don't know this, but once a year, Nikos has to make a pilgrimage in order to get more plastic card for all of his scratch-built models that he uses in Warhammer 40,000. Yeah, and he has to get a very particular type of plastic card because, as you know, because of Nikos's high level of modeling ability, he actually goes to one guy, who lives in Plymouth. And he's a plastic card grandmaster, and it's the only guy Nikos will buy it off because Nikos has got a plastic card black belt.
It makes it sound like he's buying crystal.
It does. Well, yours is all in. Sinise is in the chat, by the way.
He's got no penis. He clearly doesn't know what a dick looks like.
Greedo's first term problem. There we go. Greedo's first term problem. Oh my god!
What?
40k is the cantina.
Hand shot first.
That's how you can describe all your 40k games now. What happened? Well, he was Han. So I was Greedo.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. And Han had Tau.
And Han had Tau, and it sucked. Colonel Cammy, thank you for subscribing for 17 months. Viking DK says plastic crack. Nikos is testing stealth not technology. He is. Wow.
Well. Oh dear.
Matty984 says literally just went to check the APOC video and now can't unhear that music. New phone ring coming in. When you take your damage.
It's just Star Wars Battlefront 2 when you play. On Tatooine.
And then thank you to Colonel Cabbage. I'll do this now just to outshine Nikos because he's done 17 months in a row over Nikos' 14.
I've done 19, so get wrecked.
Right, so Scriver's done 20.
Oh, you cheeky bastard.
I know. So let's move on to news. News.
Very serious.
We obviously will be talking about APOC as the big bit of news later. In other 40k news, the first thing that we'll talk about, and hopefully we'll get a big rundown from Nikos next week, is the 40k Heat 1 happened this weekend. It did. And there was some interesting, and FYI, without Nikos here, you're into the Rob and Tom Gossip Central.
Well, we haven't actually been.
Yeah, we haven't been. But also,
we're journalism from the
Nikos
safety
isn't
of
here to stop us from bitching and gossiping. So
we're doing journalism by the safety of Twitter. Let's go, guys.
Big question. I heard some gossip about the terrain on the very first, before the event had started. Did you hear that piece of gossip?
Oh, this is about where they announced that it was line of sight blocking on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shall I explain it to
Maybe not a good idea to do that on the day.
No, right. Scriver says 40k news equals Scriver has gone full Necromunda narrative. And the Chatterbox Farrak has subscribed 4 months in a row. Thank you very much, Chatterbox Farrak. Long live all of the Primarchs. The Dreadwood, so we're all accepted that 40k is moving to a 12D system for night then. We are. Absolutely. Probably. And then Datcom says new line sight rules for ground floors during deployment. Yeah. So here's the hot goss.
All right.
So Games Workshop have their own building called Warhammer World.
Do they?
They do, and it's where they hold competitive 40k tournaments.
Did you say competitive?
Competitive podcasters? We did the bunny ears, and there they hold this thing called the Heats. Yeah, and there at the Heats they have Realm of Battle boards, atrocious, but we'll ignore that. Yeah, and they have horrifically shit scenery. We'll ignore that. Better than the LGT. But less functional than the LGT.
It looks nicer, isn't as useful.
So might as well not be there. Therefore, LGT terrain, better.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
But I've defended LGT terrain against like a bunch of other events, to be fair.
No, because the point is it does the job.
Yes. I don't care if it's white plasticards propped up by a clothes peg on the table. It's just...
So Viking DX has got some hot goss in the chat here.
Oh yes.
So people, they always put out a tournament pack, and they charge. I think they charge the most that anyone charges, which makes sense. It's Warhammer World, the home. They can pay a premium, right?
Yeah.
You get to stand.
You get a big sausage on Sunday.
You do. You get to stand way too tight and close to every other player in the room. It's air ventilated terribly.
If you're lucky, you might see me in the bar.
But it does have a good bar.
It does have
and
a
the
good
bar
bar
staff are excellent.
And the bar staff are excellent.
Absolutely. So ignoring the fact that the event is effectively one of the worst events you can attend, yeah.
I do
Change my
enjoy
mind.
it.
I've enjoyed them.
I like winning games.
And it's close.
And it's very easy to win games at Leeds.
But we'll ignore all of that. They put out a tournament pack where you can attend and it lets you know like how many points and what the rules are and make sure you bring the right models and they're all painted up and that's fine too, which is excellent. And this is not to throw shade on that because I think that's great. They do that ahead of time. However, at this event, they'd Git Fiddle, thank you for subscribing 2 months in a row. Love you loads. You've got some big dick energy and oh fuck, I keep forgetting it. You're breathtaking.
The Keanu Reeves thing. There you go. Yes.
You're breathtaking. Tom, you're breathtaking.
I know. So are you.
Thanks.
You're breathtaking.
Everyone in the chat's breathtaking. So what they did, this is cool. So and Viking DX was saying, during people deploying, they did a announcement across the hall. Yeah. The event organizer said, and he said, right, so we know that our terrain isn't fit for purpose.
They said that.
I don't know.
They used those words.
No, I'm ad-libbing, so I don't know if they said those words. So that's gossip.
Okay.
Yeah. But they did say the terrain needs help. Let's just say. Let's say they didn't insult their own terrain and they had the PR acumen to do that.
Yes.
Right. But then they said, we need a little bit of help. So I also don't know if they said that. But what they did say, categorically true, was that the ground floor of buildings is line of sight blocking, which is a special third-party rule that the
custom rules.
It's a custom issue. So if you guys aren't, if you, for some reason you listen to a 40k podcast and you don't know what the ITC is that what it is?
Yeah, it's ITC.
Yeah,
it's not ETC, it's ITC.
Yeah, it's ITC, and I don't care about it in any way. I just want everyone to know that. I don't give a fuck.
Magnetise my ranking to the fridge so Mummy can be proud of me.
Oh, wait, Datcom's got some hot goss I want to...
yes. Thank you, chat.
The ground floor of multi-level ruins, not just
So
one...
I believe they clarified the rule later on in the day. So,
but they might have done it on the
at the start. They said ground floor is line of sight blocking, but it was difficult to quantify that, and then they clarified it with the actual rules from the ITC afterwards. And it was at that moment that James Mackenzie won the event because he loves his line of sight blocking ground floor ruins.
So hold on, we'll get to that in a moment. So what the players had turned up with, they were like, right, cool, I know what the terrain's going to be like.
Yes.
Because I've seen terrain at Warhammer World before.
Planet Bowling Ball.
Now, most TOs, and the 40k TOs who I know that are excellent, like Ace, Face, who does LCO, Last Chance Open.
Yes, he does.
Excellent terrain. He showed pictures of it beforehand. There was like loads of like communication with the customer, because 40k the terrain is so important. Yeah, which is why the ITC has a rule that means that it's line of sight blocking terrain like on the ground floor. I don't think that's very good, because you can make things basically indestructible being inside the terrain.
Magic boxes.
They're magic boxes of win, but doesn't matter
And
whether or
Warhammer
not.
World has some of
Yeah,
those,
I mean,
yeah.
loads of people out there love ITC and love like that rule.
Weebs.
Fine, I don't. Yeah, weebos. No, they're normally far right extremists, but we'll move on past that. But I don't like it in any way, shape, or form, because it's just a magic box rule, and and I've been gimped by it before. It's been really upsetting.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter. Maybe it's what you need to balance the game. And loads of people love it. In fact, more people love it than love any other type of system. So that's okay. Maybe.
I'm just going to leave that. I'm not thinking about pay.
and to quote everyone in the chat, Symbol says the ITC rule is fantastic, and Pokey John says the ITC rule is whack. So you've got the gamut of how everyone in the 40k community feels about it.
Everyone's along that scale somewhere.
Yeah, everyone's between those
at
two.
Warhammer World, I think that's a good call, because it does help them out with their density of terrain, right?
Yes.
I think to announce it on the day, though, is the main problem.
And to announce a third-party rule from another game system.
Oh, it's fine. I don't care. Take the good bit, steal it. It's flattery.
What?
If it works, take it.
No, I agree. Like, and look at all of their lore and everything else. They are not shy of stealing.
No,
right?
only because Blizzard do it to them as well.
I think also that. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the Primaris Marines, but I'll describe a plot to you for a film. Yeah. Okay. A knight, let's call him, goes to a planet where he finds that a while ago someone commissioned the building of an entire clone army.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they would be usable in the upcoming war. What film am I describing?
It's Attack of the Clones.
I'm actually describing the Primaris Marines.
Yes, you are. It's just a man in a robe just building a bunch of clones. It's like, hello.
And Steve says, "Yeah, that's yet another spectrum to provoke 40k."
I'm glad I got the film right, though. That doesn't normally happen.
You did get the film right, and I'm really proud of you.
You would have told me if I hadn't. So.
And Andrew says, regardless of how any feels about it, which is absolutely the correct response. Thank you, Andrew, for being the adult in the room. One should know what the rule is before the event.
Correct.
So we're none of us are particularly. Oh, I'm not a huge fan of that, because I'm going to the Age of Sigmar Heat this weekend.
Oh, are you?
The only reason I didn't go to 40k Heat last weekend was I didn't want to back-to-back
Heats.
Heats. Plus, also I've been making like a fucking metric ton of content about Age of Sigmar. Disproportionate amounts of content.
I mean, there has been a General's Handbook.
Effectively, the game is effectively reset, and I've covered it prodigiously this week.
And I'm very pleased with my Nighthaunt. My Nighthaunt look a bit better, don't they? Yeah. From what I've heard on the show, anyway, I don't really know what I'm talking about in that game. It's true, I don't. I've never played a game of Age of Sigmar.
Oh, what? From listening to the Nighthaunt?
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, I could talk about that forever. But what Ash said opened my mind. It's a great way. And when they reset 40k in whatever fashion, it might be something. Well, we've talked about it. We did some planning. It's exactly what we're going to do for 40k as well. We'll go do a bunch of interviews and get people on. So we'll do the same
Sounds
thing.
good.
Yeah.
Down for that. 24-hour stream.
Pog. No, we'll do it this way.
Not again. Never again.
You need to have breaks. So trust me.
That's fine. We just cycle people in.
Yeah.
Just let the thing go.
Deal. No sleep for Rob. Daily shows for
No,
Rob.
it's okay. Jonathan can come in and do 12 hours.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're agreed that they should have done just a better job with that.
I think, it should just been announced in advance. I appreciate the effort to try and fix the problem. It's obvious they're aware it's a problem. That's just...
But they've had like a vast amount of time to approach that problem. Let's talk... If you guys want to go back and listen to some of our earlier reviews, especially of the 40k Heats, we've been consistently... We have dogged on the terrain at Warhammer World.
It was a bit better at the final.
Yeah, okay. Like, it was more dense at the final.
Yes.
Okay. But ignoring that, we've dogged on it for every other time.
Yes.
I still don't think it was fit for purpose at the final.
That's fine.
But we've dogged on it.
Yeah.
And so it's nice. I think great that they're doing something about it. And actually, fair play to them.
The team event was good as well.
Fair play to them for going out of their comfort zone and just going, look, those guys know something that we don't know.
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah,
but I feel
absolutely.
Like, but seeing as they make millions of pounds, they could just buy
more terrain,
good scenery.
Well, they don't need to. People keep coming to their events. 120 people this weekend.
Yeah,
Why do you need to invest more money into it?
See, now that is the problem, right? Like, because I feel a bit like.
I guess they could probably
force it. Well, no, I'm with you. Hold on, I'd like to make a point about this because it's how I feel about like doing content for Warhammer that we do. I feel like we have to go to events and we have to play games. Yeah. What's exciting is I also want to. Yeah. Right. So it's good that my job is also the thing that I want to do. However, I think that there is a huge market to do a much better 40k event. Than Games Workshop does. There just is. They charge a crazy premium. The hall's uncomfortable. The tables are rubbish. The scenery's not fit for purpose. It's not organised particularly well. It's organised fine. There's no comparing system. Like I've just been, like, I'm not being rude to anyone who works there. Just other people have done better jobs.
I had a practice game in Warhammer World over half term on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the aircon was on, and it was literally blowing my orcs away.
But then you also need it because you don't want to sweat your balls off, right? Yeah. But anyway, they literally, their factory where they make all of the stuff is underneath the gaming hall. It's not like they're like, where will we get it? I'm like, downstairs.
Off you go, down the spiral staircase. Can we have some more terrain, please?
And those battle boards are sharp. They would do weird things to the dice. Yeah, they also like
or do weird things to your models, slide
down. Oh, for a game that like
that's how you nudge. You just put them on a hill.
Yeah. Like, and you say to your mate, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know." Anyway. Terrible.
I think you should just bring blue tack to Warhammer.
But I'm sure
World.
Nick had a great time.
Whenever you next go to a tournament at Warhammer World, take blue tack so you can blue tack your bases to the side of a hill.
Well, so I've been today to Warhammer World to play a game, and I got really upset with my friend. I was just like, "I'm so sorry." It was for me. My models were sliding down. And I was like, "I'm sorry." He was like, "Just move them," and it must have gained like 3 inches.
This is why you get the blue tack out.
Yeah, I was just like,
straight on.
Yeah. Anyway, we could talk about this forever.
Yeah, we could.
Never mind. They're rubbish. We do. I rate them 0 out of 10. Because they have all of the capacity to be a 10 out of 10.
Fair enough.
They have the money.
Yeah.
Like other TOs are like, I'm doing this off my own back. I'm not making any money. They're like, this is a captive audience of 120 people at £65 a ticket. Work that out every week.
Yeah.
They make that money.
Yeah.
And they won't upgrade the scenery. Someone else out there make a better tournament, please. I would like to go to that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Right, next up is
like £7,800, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean... You can buy some terrain with that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Do you know what? If Games Workshop want to buy the terrain, me and Tom will paint it for them.
You don't want that.
Listen.
Not even with contrast.
Tom, come on, join me. You and me will paint their
terrain.
terrain.
Nikos will paint the terrain.
You and me will paint the terrain.
Fine. But you'll pay us to paint the terrain.
Yeah, Games Workshop, we will be willing to work for whatever.
And you'll pay us per hour so we can slack off. That's going to work.
Deal. Done.
Let's get
we agree. Right, let's move on from that hot goss. Who won the event?
James won. So James Mackenzie. He's been on the show. He was on the show, the second interview I did. He was also on the stream for games 3 and 4, I think, at the LCO. So you can go and watch those back.
Yeah.
Because we don't charge for our VODs.
We do not. They're free to watch.
They are. And from the YouTube channel. And I think they're still buried on Twitch, aren't they?
So Twitch has kind of got like a 90-day cycle where it like deletes stuff off.
So it'll be on YouTube then.
But it's on YouTube because we always put both.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Simon Pridis, who won the GT last year, came second. And I think Conrad, I'm not going to try and pronounce his surname because I'm going to call him Dr. Conrad. He came third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in first place was Gene Stealer Colts.
Gene Stealer Colts. Yeah.
Right. And then High Lord Draconis, Reflex Dog Training. If you guys want to find the faction breakdowns I've been doing on the podcast, just go on that. There's a playlist. You can click them. They'll also be on YouTube tomorrow.
Ooh. Very fancy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've decided never to sleep again. G Stealer Colts first is excellent.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's not what I would have called. If you listened to me bitch and moan last week, I would have said Eldar.
I mean, at the heat, it's fine. Like.
Yes, but they're also playing Games Workshop missions.
But yeah, and they're also playing line of sight blocking on the bottom floor.
They are. They are potentially the.
It's almost like that
perfect
had an
marriage of
effect on the
things.
game.
Huh?
It's almost like that had an effect on the game.
It's almost like it did. Did you happen to talk to him and find out if
I haven't spoken to him, no, but he did something with Manny Chima from Glasshammer Gaming. He did an interview in Bugman's Bar beforehand, so you can check that out as well.
Oh,
So.
are you allowed to record him? World?
No, but it's fine. But he got away with it.
Shh. Can we all just everyone don't talk? To
Manny
us?
gets in enough trouble, so it's fine.
Lord Draconis, wait, like ITC Ruin Rules? Yes, sir. Exactly like ITC Ruin Rules.
Exactly like ITC Ruin Rules.
But they announced it on the day.
They did.
Yeah, so very, very odd. So that's cool. And the second place was Nurgle again?
No. So second place was Simon, I think it was.
Oh, Tau.
Yeah, I think he was running Tau. He might have been running Orcs, though. I don't know
I
what
think
he
he was.
running.
No, he was playing Tau because Nikos lost to him. It was the only game
Oh, did
Nikos
he?
lost. I
Okay,
think so.
yeah.
No. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We'd have to hear about that game from Nikos, actually.
Yeah, we would.
I'd
That'd be
interested to
exciting.
hear about,
The 9 broadsides.
And then I think Conrad normally plays Deathwatch. I don't know why he was playing again, but he came third with that.
Deathwatch is a hot pick, I'd say.
Yeah.
Hot pick.
Definitely
When we talked about me building a new 40k army, it was one of those things you and me talked about. And honestly, it's such a complex book. Like, I think, you know, to like
especially
dive
when you
into.
mix in the soups that you could be doing.
Oh my god, yeah.
The soups.
Yeah, the soups. The soups. So I've recently, while I've been doing some of the Wargamer stuff, in the background, I've been watching Seinfeld.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
I've
It's
never
my favourite anime.
It's Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's not an anime.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, why are you looking there? It's
Because
not.
that's why you're watching it. It's an anime.
It's not. It's got. I'm confused by this
Don't worry
joke.
about it.
Okay, right. But
So I've just made a reference you didn't recognise.
good. Why are you looking at you? You're so happy.
I am. I'm delighted. It doesn't normally happen.
But
Got him with
anyway,
the Papa Franco.
I've been watching. Wait, that's Sungate.
No, it's Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
That's Steins Gate is what he's talking about. Though.
Oh my god. Let's move.
That is an anime, but Seinfeld is also an anime.
Right, hold on. However,
Just like Corey in the House.
Inside, they keep talking. Yeah, Corey in the House. Seinfeld isn't Corey in the House.
Corey in the House and Seinfeld are both anime.
Oh, right, look. Anyway, in the Seinfeld that I was watching,
Yes.
yeah, right.
Same what I was.
Which is which is a real world with character people in.
It's an anime. What are you doing, mate?
I don't know what you're talking about. Avatar isn't an anime, says Restanti. I don't know what any of this means. However, yes, thank you. There's a character called the Soup Nazi.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what they call him.
That's what they call him, right? But he makes the best soup. Yeah, so everyone wants to go to him.
Is it like a grammar Nazi who's always like?
No, he's just like really serious. Like if you do your order wrong, he's like, no soup for you.
So it's like Gordon Ramsay.
Yes,
Right.
but yeah,
So
way
you
worse.
could call him a soup authoritarian.
He's he's like a soup gatekeeper,
Okay, there we go. Soup keeper.
soup keeper.
There you go.
But they call him the Soup Nazi.
There you go. Yeah.
And he's a very funny character in it, and it made me laugh. So I really do think that because you and me are going to a doubles event run by House of Wargaming, where you're only allowed to run one faction,
Yeah.
and ignoring the fact that they're going to turn into a Sigma channel soon, only. That's what I heard. They would
Should we be announcing that? I don't even know if that's true, but
It's not true.
okay.
But it was a meme I made last week.
Okay.
But they we could call them the soup Nazis because they won't let us soup our armies.
Does anyone in the chat know if Hellstorm Doubles has a list deadline?
Because
We don't know. we genuinely don't know. I might have written a list with 31 Warbikers in it without actually owning any Warbikers.
Let's get some crystals.
Yeah,
That's a plastic card. Right. Anyways, I don't know why we got into the soup Nazi. Where were
Seinfeld.
we? No, before then, before anime.
Shit.
Fuck. Okay.
You were going to make a reference to Seinfeld.
No, it was the soup Nazi was mine.
Okay,
And it was to
okay.
do with soup. Death Watch.
Deathwatch. There you go.
Super
Yeah,
complicated, especially when you add in
Yeah.
soup.
Wow, that was a good tangent.
That was amazing.
That was
Grats.
Grats.
There we
There
go.
you go. There's nothing in that.
Death Watch soup. So Gene Stealer Colts winning is great, and I think also Death Watch coming third is very interesting as well.
Yeah.
And I would like to get into Death Watch, but it's a little bit.
You also like your Zinch, though, don't you?
Yeah, so I've just picked up a new army for Sumo, so I really don't think I could. I don't think I can like Mindscape 2 armies. And what I mean by that is some of you guys out there might be listening. It's been really interesting in the AOS faction rundowns because I've watched some of the people react to them and going, I never knew they were good. And I was like, oh, like we sometimes forget just how like schooled and how much mastery or knowledge we necessarily might have
Yeah.
in these games.
I'm perfectly aware of how much mastery.
0. You don't even know what your stratagems cost.
I still win games. But I don't know the wrong way for me.
Okay.
It's not like I'm saying, yes, my green tide is 1 command point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that in my opinion, that's an army that's going to take me like 10 or 20 games to like get to like how to play it very, very well.
Deathwatch.
No, the Zinch for AOS.
Yeah,
But I feel like the same would be true for 40k for if I wanted to play Deathwatch. I think that would be a very complicated list.
It might be more games than that, but I feel like you could play it well after 10 to 20 games. Playing it perfectly would take close to 100.
Which is so if you even considered like 2 hours to be a game, that you're talking 200 hours, which is like a phenomenal amount, right? Even if you were lucky enough to find someone that want to play 3 games with you, you probably that's going to take you like 3 games a day. It's going to take you like nearly half a year to get that kind of.
Well, 200 hours you can do in just over a week.
Yeah, but it's finding another person that wants to do that with you. Yeah, yeah, and then it would just be mirror matches, right? And because you also want to play people who are good with their armies, so you don't just want to play some like Rube.
You're not going down to the Games Workshop
I don't
on a
know.
Sunday.
Is Rube an offensive term?
I don't know what it means.
There we go.
Apparently,
I watched The Death of Stalin last night on
Netflix.
On Amazon. So I think that's where I picked it up. So apologies if that means something I don't know. I know that ruble is a currency, so
it
now
is
I'm
currency.
like,
Yeah.
say, is it like a cheap person from Russia?
I don't know.
Great question.
Can chat Google it.
Can someone Google whether or not I've offended
In
anyone?
fact, when the FBI come to your house, we'll just say it's he's done the offensive thing, or she's done the offensive thing, or whatever.
Rube is like a hick. Rube means uneducated. All right, nice.
There you go. You're
Smashed
fine.
it.
Yeah.
There we go. Wargaming.
We can say Rube. It's fine.
Yeah, Killer Cabbage also wants us to do. Killer Cabbage, you and me will do a spin-off show of this show, which will just be Seinfeld characters as seen in 40k.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Are you going to animate them too?
Yeah, no problem. We'll do that. That sounds.
John.
Yeah. Paul says Nikos is clearly the glue in this outfit.
We're fine.
We're doing great.
We're doing great.
Also, so he says, subscribe for 10 months, and he says this is for Tom's crease.
Oh yeah. So I tweeted out a picture of my swollen leg with a sock indent in it, and the first thing someone did was zoom in on my crotch area and ask if that was a dick. I don't think he knows what a dick looks like.
I think our Twitch moderators are scary, and I don't want to fuck with them, so I won't say anything bad about any of them. I love them all. Right, other 40k news. Let's move on.
What do you mean other 40k news? We haven't started any 40k news. We spoke about the Heat a little bit.
That's news.
We talked about the background music.
GC Locals winning an event is a big deal.
Okay, yes, there we go.
Right.
We spoke about the background music for the Apocolypse video with Becca.
Also 40k news.
Also 40k news.
Wait, hold on.
I feel like we're missing a meat of the issue.
Can we talk about the Heat again one more time?
Yeah, sure.
Because, again, just making everyone completely aware that I, personally, and if you like it, then that's great. Yeah, I don't like garlic, for instance. Some people really like garlic.
Garlic bread?
Do you like garlic?
I like garlic bread.
I don't. Yeah, anyway.
Close enough. We'll have that.
Close enough.
We'll have that.
I don't give a fuck about ITC. I've seen it played once, and I'm like, this looks lame.
It's the same game every time.
It's the same game every time. Whereas I quite like the 40k missions from Chapter Approved. And I know like there'll be competitive people out there like, they're not even very good.
Competitive people.
Fuck you. I like them. I like them.
Okay.
And I think I'd like to play more of them. Mm-hmm. What are you going to say about that? And if someone says to me,
now
what
mix
are you
in some
practicing for?
now mix in some Maelstrom missions as well, so not every game is the same, and bang, you've got the best game system you can get.
Well, there we go on to some brand new news.
Yes. Oh, Apocolypse.
No, the
Oh, Maelstrom. Sorry.
Maelstrom.
Sorry.
So
right.
in this week's White Dwarf,
that was a really cool tangent. I
wait,
fucked
they
it
come
up.
out weekly now. In this month's
Month's
White
White
Dwarf,
Dwarf.
yeah,
It's the subscriber edition because I'm a shill.
is every person who is right is some
Yes.
new ways to play Maelstrom. Maelstrom. If you guys aren't aware what Maelstrom is in 40k is it's a card-based way of playing 40k. So you would put some cards out. However, they've got a new way to play with Maelstrom. And seeing as the White Dwarf now effectively gives you entire codexes, is this like what kind of like how seriously are we taking this as a release?
I don't know because it's a little bit close to the ETC for us to implement this. So I haven't really dug into it as much as I would otherwise do if I was using it to prep for an event, right?
Yeah.
So VTC is just I'd rather just not confuse myself with two methods of doing the same thing, right?
Exactly.
So it's not like I've gone, well, I could just do this and this would be better, and I'd construct my deck like this. It's kind of more like, okay, if it gets implemented, then I'll take it seriously. But currently, I'm just leaving it.
I would say that I don't know. I don't know how serious this is. The problem with Games Workshop's like entire design philosophy, right? Like when they talk to me as a customer, because I am just a customer, just like everyone else listening.
Yeah.
I don't have any
You're
special
definitely a
relationship.
customer.
Yeah, but I don't have any special relationship. Is my point, right? Like I just admit you've kind. Could you just,
Oh, sorry, am I sliding more?
just a little bit. That'd be
Okay,
good.
there we go.
There we go.
I'll move this round.
thanks.
There you go. No problem.
Is because they like don't tell the truth all the time. Ironclads are the best ever. Like I struggle to know like how am I like? Is this the new way I play Maelstrom? Mm-hmm. Is this the new game system? Is this the?
It depends on what you're playing, right? Because obviously they don't use Maelstrom missions in their own tournaments, do they? So the only other time you'd be using Maelstrom is when you're working out with your mates and playing a game, or if you're playing ETC style.
Okay.
In which case you are deferring to a bunch of just nerds in a captain's chat, which is.
So what do you make of the? So the new Maelstrom is different. So in this, normally Maelstrom was a deck of cards that you just had, and then you would, depending on which Maelstrom mission you're playing, cards would be drawn in different ways. However, this one, you pre-construct a deck, a bit like Magic the Gathering, and then you draw. You can't. There are some stipulations. You can't have the same tactical objective more than once. And then you draw, and then you put them in a hand, and at the start of the game you draw 5, but then you only play 3.
Yeah.
Which seems quite cool, and it feels very much like ITCE. You know, you're trying to kind of like preload
You're
the deck.
reducing the randomization, right?
Yeah, and you're trying to make the army work the way your objectives work the way your army works.
Yeah, I mean, it just changes how you draw, right? So it means that you draw 5 cards, and if you don't like them, you can mulligan and take 4 cards. And then of those 4 cards or 5 cards, you can pick 3 and place them down. And those ones you score, right? Also, another way that they are reducing the randomization of it is you can only have 18 cards in a deck. And I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. Just because it means that you have to now readjust how much scoring you can get from each component in the ETC mission.
Okay.
Because as it stands, we're compensating for the current number of Maelstrom points people are often scoring, right? So, but there are some missions where you can just absolutely run away with the Maelstrom. The Eternal War just doesn't matter. So, I mean, I'm coming at this from a completely different standpoint, but then everyone is, because it's not really something that we see used efficiently in official events, right?
And that's the issue, right? And the thing about we talked about the event from Games Workshop by now implementing an ITC rule is like they muddy the waters so much with like I want to play a pickup game that's kind of practice leading towards an event. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So FYI, I think I've made a decision for myself. Maybe not a channel decision, but a decision for me. I'm just going to play the chapter approved missions.
There you go. So
That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to play them like Novocaine. I'm just going to play them over and over. And if anyone says anything to me about ITC, I'll go, fuck off. Yeah, and I don't mean that in a horrible way. I was like, go away.
yeah.
Yeah, because either we all play it. Because every time I go to Warhammer World and play it's a fucking Maelstrom mission. Not Maelstrom mission.
It's a war mission. Although they are implementing some ITC rules.
So yeah, I'm so confused. Liam Jordan, thank you very much for subscribing for a year. He says 1 year, boy.
Whoop whoop.
Jimmy, he says play a Maelstrom game the other night, and they're perfectly good fun and have a lot more dynamism.
Dynamism.
It's just a tough word. I used to say dynamism, it's not a real word.
No.
And then tactical challenges than other standard missions.
So the way it normally works is one of the things I always say when building an ETC list is that the most important thing you can build into your list is board pressure. And by board pressure, I don't necessarily mean being able to stand all over the board. I mean creating zones of control where your opponent can't go, but you can.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most important things in Maelstrom missions, because what you end up doing is you now have, let's say you've got control over 5 out of the 6 quarters of corners of a board, right? But you've got 6 2x2 tiles, and you have control over 5 of them.
Yeah.
And your opponent has control of 1. The odds of you drawing an objective that's going to benefit you are exceptionally high, and the odds of your opponent drawing an objective that benefits them is exceptionally low. because now you can control what your opponent hits because you can sit back. So if you're saying, "Oh, draw a card," it's like Scalbus Guys, kill something with fly. Haha, my stuff with flies at the back. Or secure objective 4. Oh, it's all way in your corner. Crud, I can't get that one. Whereas if you draw those things, suddenly you can just hit it, or you can take that objective, right?
But the thing about Maelstrom that the thing about Maelstrom for me that's always struck home is it's a win-win kind of like set of cards, right? Like if I'm winning the game, like if I've like killed half my opponent's army, then obviously it's easier for me to do all of the missions. But the game works if I can't just total my opponent's army, basically. But the game doesn't work if I'm able to just like effectively, as you've just pointed out there, be in a situation where I can neuter so much of my opponent in the first couple of turns that it doesn't really matter about scoring later on.
So the question there is, how do you define winning the game? And if you define winning the game, and that comes down to what I was talking about, pressure. If you can push your opponent into the corner, often it is, well, I just killed more of your stuff. Now I'm snowballing, and now I'm pushing you in.
And Maelstrom feels like a snowballing scenario.
Well, it's more because the game is snowballing, and therefore you just get control over more of the board, right? But there are...
So should my point be that 40k is just a snowball game?
Well, I'm going to make a quick counterpoint to this.
Sweet.
Because there's a lot of armies whereby the later a game goes, the more beneficial it is for them. And every game I've played with Orcs, I've wanted turn 7.
Right,
Every single one. Because what I can do is, if I feel like I'm going to get hit hard, that's perfectly fine with me. I can use the teleporters if I need to and drop units of boys down. I can sit back and push you to jump and clear screen, and now I've hit your juicy stuff. So the more time I have to push through your juicy stuff and then push you back. So you take the pressure, you get hit, and then you go. With Orcs, a lot of the time, right? So it's not necessarily a case of, well, you've got board pressure, therefore you must be snowballing the game into me. Often that is the case if you're playing a Tau versus Tau matchup, and one Tau player gets first turn and wipes a bunch of drones. Then that Tau player is probably going to win because they got the jump and now they have pressure. But it's not always the case. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. So yeah, but that is how I feel about the 40k missions generally, and I think also Maelstrom is that there's a snowball mechanic in 40k.
Yes.
Because the scoring is so intrinsically tied to having stuff alive. Now I know, obviously.
I mean, it's the case in a lot of games, right? I'd imagine in AOS, if you've removed like Nagash turn 1, and your opponent, the Nagash players removed nothing. That's going to have an effect.
It's more whether or not that's possible.
This is the thing. And then you've got another good example is like League of Legends, where if you've got a 10k gold lead, you're probably going to snowball the game out, right?
Exactly.
The only example I can think of a game that I actually follow that doesn't have that kind of mechanic in it is Counter-Strike, which even to then has it to a degree because it has the economy system. But there are measures built in with loss bonuses and what have you that allow you to come back, whereas 40k doesn't really have that.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely.
Unless you include things like deep striking unit stratagems.
Yeah, keeping stuff off the board so that they can come in later.
And even then you're paying for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually at a premium with those units.
And even then your opponent has a way to deal with it because with screening.
Yeah, Archean says Dota is a good catch-up system if you're miles behind.
I don't really know Dota that well.
No, me either. But thank you very much, Archean. Yeah. To keep the game exciting, I'd like to...
Valve OP.
I am literally going to read about that later, so appreciate that loads. And also great seeing you in the chat. Orcs vs. Orcs in Maelstrom comes down to first turn, in my opinion, says Scrivo.
I take second turn every time.
Oh, Colonel Kevin says, I only used to play Maelstrom, especially in 7th, because I play Dark Eldar. I used to basically always score lots of points, but always lose my army, which is...
Because Dark Eldar can push into the centre and it takes a while for you to clear them with Talos and Grotesques.
So yeah, you effectively can attrition.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there are some stratagems also?
Yeah, so there's 3 stratagems. The first one's called Reprioritize, which is 2 CP. So you use this stratagem at the start of your turn, and you discard up to 2 tactical objective cards from your hand, and draw 1 tactical objective card for each card that was discarded. So you just discard 2 and draw 2. It's like weird pot of greed. The second one is Tactical Foresight, which is 1 CP, and you use this stratagem at any point during the turn. You can look at the top 3 cards of your objective deck and choose to put each back either the top or the bottom of the deck in any order. You can only use this stratagem once per turn, so you can't just spam it like 6 times and then just control your entire deck. Number 3 is called Determined Push, which is 1 CP as well, and you can also use this at any point during the turn. And you select up to 3 tactical objective cards from your discard pile and shuffle them back into your objective deck, and you can only use a stratagem once per turn.
Okay.
And so you discard a card at the end of your turn if you don't like it.
I could see how it would be. I could see how it would effectively you might use them in a pinch. But so many people turn up to the game. The game is so the game is so CP hungry. Yeah, go for it.
Slight change here. In discarding, you can discard any of your in-play tactical objectives. So you can discard more than one if you want to as well.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Get out of your hand, stick it back in your deck for later.
Datcom's also helping out. That's it. Also, big shout out, you gorgeous lover man. He says they call those systems rubber banding, like in Mario Kart. The players in the back drive a little faster and they get better items.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have lots of Talos. It's about having fast moving threats. But so yeah.
Well, even then, though, you're just sticking lots of shit in the center. You may not. So it's not about. So with Dark Elder, you can have 2 times the durability. You can have durability.
He's talking about an older version of Dark Elder. So
okay,
7th edition.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, so Halud, thank you for subscribing.
It's still the
7
same
months
philosophy, but yeah.
in a row. So what do you make of what we've just read there?
I'm fine with this. Actually, this change is all right. I would consider changing up the number of tactical objective cards in your deck. But otherwise, yeah.
So just a little thought I had, just like a brainwave as I was sat here. My mind.
You're getting a lot of these brainwaves as you sat here.
I do, right?
Show,
I like talking. It's my way. It's my way of thinking, which is why I do this show.
He loves talking.
How cool would it be? Check this out. If VPs, imagine you got a bonus victory point for every command point you didn't spend.
I just wouldn't spend any command. I just buy 3 brigades and then not spend any CP.
Right, greater start, right? But then is the CP usage in that situation worth the output that you'll get to win? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it could be cool. Yes, because if you're starting a game with 39 points.
Yeah, there might be.
Imagine Gene Stealer cults with that, man.
Huh?
You just take Gene Stealer cults. You take as many neophyte hybrids as you can. You've got instantly 39 points. Plus, you use the stratagem that allows your warlord.
But you've used the stratagem now, so you don't have 39 points.
So this is important because there's a stratagem that you can use to give your warlord an extra warlord trait.
Right.
And that warlord trait gives you D3 CP.
Okay, so you're 42.
So it's 39 down 1 to 38. So it could be between 39 and 41.
Okay, but then you have to play the game.
Yeah, so you stick a bunch of neophytes in someone's face and they don't move.
I personally think that's a really interesting idea, though. The concept that there'll be an economy to not only using it for your output, you know, like that. Like you'll use it a lot less for that one reroll, right?
You wouldn't use it at all for one reroll most of the time, unless it's like late game critical.
I don't know. I just a thought. Not a brainwave. Brainwave sounds like it's a smart idea.
But if you don't throw it out there, you don't know, do you?
So. I just thought that was really interesting. I was like, actually, because the problem is you just not the problem, but the thing is you just go, I use all my CP. You're like, cool. It's like, what if there's a cost for doing it?
Yeah,
that's the kind of
other than the cost of the CP.
Other than the cost of the CP. Sorry, what thoughts on your suggestion? A little Archean, sorry. So 2-point gain becomes a 3-point gain. They could have a system 40k where you like double the points behind the VP gain is worth 50% more. So like if you only had half the army, then the point that it's interesting.
I'm confused.
So imagine turn 1. Yeah, you take 50% of my army off the board, right? And then you score 2 objectives and you get 2 victory points.
Yeah.
But then in my turn, I score 2 victory points. But because I've only got half my army, and with half an army, I'm very unlikely to be able to dish out enough to like take out a percentage of your army that would be the same as if I had a whole army.
Yeah.
But the victory points mean that I score double. You know, because my men are braver now, outnumbered. So I would score double the victory points for that round. And then the turn after, obviously, you then with your full army, well, not full, but whittled down a bit,
80% chub.
Yeah, 80% chub, smashes my sub 50% chub, and you're like, this was easy, babe, and then you win for the next 5 turns, right?
Yeah. Also, do you really want to be punishing people for being ahead?
Well, but, I mean, we punish people already by not going first. Arguably. And we could argue that another day.
You punish people by not having the choice of who goes first.
That's true. There you go. I think that's more important. Actually, for a while, I didn't want there to be I didn't want there to be a choice in who goes first in Age Sigmar. But now I'm obsessed with it. I'm like, I want to choose, or I want to know I'm not choosing, and then deploy defensively or offensively, whatever the situation.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think you make this a secondary, says the honest. What says Colonel Cabbage? It's interesting though. No heart. So say if Tom wins, no half the VP. So if Tom is winning 10-5. No half the VP. So say if Tom's winning.
I think making the game snowbally is fine so long as you have a way to mitigate the ability to snowball, and that comes down to terrain, right?
Maybe. Might come down to rules.
Although it also comes down to list building too, so don't build a shit list.
I mean, that's key.
It's a good start.
Agreed. Except I don't like the idea of trying to manage skill points to keep them under the threshold. I don't like the idea. I love the idea. I love the idea that.
Oh wait, if you're doing it in kill points, then it's going to be weird because you could take a knight army which has like 3 kill points.
Well, not if you use their like actual points.
If you actually use points cost, yes, you couldn't use power level either because, for example, Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yeah.
2,000 point army comes to about 160 power level because they keep dropping its points.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would probably do it based on actual.
Also, you'd have to download combat roster.
Never download combat roster. Right. So, how do we all feel? Hi, Ian Plimmer. Source Knight also evening as well, but Ixab doesn't like that idea, FYI. So
Which
I wanted
idea,
to make
sorry?
sure.
Which idea, sorry?
The idea of the having to manage how much of your opponents. Ixab clearly murderous in all ways.
Yes.
He's like, no.
Admin, what the fuck is this?
I'm not doing this. I'm killing all the things. But it's true. It would slow the game down. So, do you like the Maelstrom changes or do you not? Not saying that they're full-time changes, but do you like it as a different way?
Overall, yeah.
Yeah, it does actually sound quite interesting.
There's more options. I like the stratagems.
The thing I've always said about Maelstrom is it does hugely benefit anything that's got like high mobility.
Also think, well, you need to be high mobility and being able to give away your units.
Yes.
Because it's like, well, there's an objective there. I could get it, but it's right in the middle of my enemy deployment zone. Here's a venom yeet.
Yeet.
He's yeet that venom straight into the.
So it's like
it's like the annihilation barge.
Yeah.
Here you go.
There you
We've
go.
already had that. That's the blast from
Thank
the
you,
past.
Saurus Knight, for subscribing for 3 months. He says it's gone by so fast. Wartsman says you shouldn't suffer from playing the mission if your opponent doesn't and just wants to kill stuff.
Have I told you that story of when I met Beasts of War?
No.
Oh, so I played one of the Beasts of War guys at an event in Stockport, and he was so drunk. So he turned up.
Great.
And we put our objectives on the
Already
table,
like him.
and he put one of his objectives down near him. We finished the game. He just spent the entire game shooting me. He never moves out of his little corner of his guard break, and I win the game because I'm stood in 2 objectives. He then comes up to me half an hour after the game and says, "Are you sure there was an objective there?" It was a bright pink objective that he'd placed.
So drunk.
It's like, bruh, am I cheating you?
Right. So, I mean, interesting that there's that. And then also we know that in an upcoming White Dwarf, so that's Maelstrom done. Quite cool. It's nice.
Get that. There's some fire slaves on the back as well.
But also, I've never been to an event that runs Maelstrom, so
yeah,
I don't know anything.
mate, you should come watch the ETC.
I got a message today from the guys that run the Malifaux event, live streaming, and we are called the Honest Wargamer because I did say that like I'd like us to eventually be like cross system, but that's complicated. Is going to the ETC to learn another game system and do the coverage? No, not today. Not today, princess. Not when we've got too much to do.
Not Malifaux.
No, not when we've got arguably too much to do on just the 2 game systems we've got, which will lead us. That would have been a great segue into Apocolypse, but we're not there yet. Yeah, we've also heard the news that there's going to be a Blood Ravens Codex in the new.
Mikey's sad.
Yeah, what do you think of the Blood Raven Codex coming out? Do you bothered? Twitch chat, I'd love to know what you think.
Just make it really simple to pander to people who love the original Dawn of War series and re-release the original Dawn of War games with upgraded graphics and nothing else.
Yes.
Do that.
Do that forever.
It will be better than StarCraft 2. They stole it anyway.
Oh, the recent Bristol GT played Eternal War Maelstrom Mix, which is ETC.
Yeah, so it's ETC style.
So Ixtab, that's.
I wonder if Manny won it.
I don't know. Heinrad, Tom, how
Yes.
mad are you that dwarfs get a wrap-round cover, but the Ynnari didn't? In fact, Ynnari the only non-wrap-around cover.
I don't know what that means.
So on the special edition book, White Dwarfs.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, there's a fancy wrap-around cover.
I thought we got a wraparound cover.
Ynnari apparently didn't get a wraparound.
I'll have to double check my book. My magazine. I've got to get it correct.
That's from Heinrad, and I think he wants to trigger you, but you seem to fine.
I'm fine.
Jim1080 says, following your comment about Battlescribe, to the Honest Wargamer, I tried to write a list this week without Battlescribe. What the actual Charles Dickens? I have absolutely no idea how list building 40k is supposed to work without Battlescribe.
So I normally just write drafts on Battlescribe, and when I do the list properly, I handwrite it.
Okay, but you do drafts a lot on Battlescribe, I imagine.
No.
What?
I don't really write many lists. Look, I'll get my
Oh,
phone.
okay. So you got to remember also, Tom plays lists like prodigiously. Normally he sticks within a faction.
Kind of.
You don't jump around a lot, though, do you?
So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 orc lists on here, including our doubles one. 2 lists from Hellstorm, which I was going to run, and then 1 new roster, which is just for checking points.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well,
I
I
don't
don't
really write
think
too much.
I don't think 40k would even be a game you could play without Battlescribe. Changed my mind.
I don't think many people want to play it because it's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna write I'm just gonna write a quick armor list. Oh yeah. Okay.
No, you're not.
Hold on. Let me get my 6 books.
Yeah. Bang! Table breaks.
So, plus, if Battlescribe wasn't a thing, someone would have made an Excel spreadsheet like in a fucking heartbeat to fix it.
Yeah.
And then Colonel Cobra says it's totally unnecessary to make this codex coming out. Make some Xenos models. I agree. Witch King says a bunch of pikeys know about stolen something valuable, talking about the Blood Ravens they have.
Excuse me.
Well, do you not know their lore?
No, what did he call them?
A bunch of pikeys.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, they're Space Marine pikeys.
Okay.
That's what they are. That's why they're called the Blood Ravens.
Oh, TOS.
Yeah, 1 CP. Viking is just telling us about one of the stratagems that they have, which is 1 CP you get to steal your opponent's relic.
Yes.
They famously
1 CP.
1 CP. They famously
They just yoink it.
Yeah, yoink it all day long.
Yeah, big grabber claw like your grandma has to try.
Jim 1080 wants some more Blood Raven lore. Optimus Primer says, "Will see Dawn of War re-released? We all would."
Yeah. Not this Dawn of War.
Although if they could make it exactly like that Astartes video, that would be amazing. Did you watch the Astartes video?
I watched the 4th part. I haven't watched the
How
rest, so.
fucking cool is it?
It's pretty cool. I got shown it by a guy who had no connection to 40k whatsoever.
Just for like some swole guys who are just like...
We all love swole guys.
I do. Space Marines are brilliant. Yeah. Hyrule says, I'm triggered by it. I'm mad that Yanari has silly dwarfs on the back.
Silly dwarfs.
Yeah, fire dwarfs.
This isn't Yanari.
Yeah.
This is Maelstrom.
Yeah, that's Maelstrom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Schumer Games, a Dawn of War release would really test the limits of nostalgia. That game's so unbalanced and simple. Welcome to 40k.
Well, Dawn of War original. Yeah, it was pretty unbalanced. You probably need to tweak some of the units in that game.
Right, next piece of news, because we haven't even got to Maelstrom yet. We're an hour in. Yeah.
We've done Maelstrom.
No, not Maelstrom. Sorry, Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Next piece of news is you've done some hobby.
I did. So,
Right.
I've been having a test.
FYI, we're about to run into a comedy lawler show here.
So without being ableist, I tried out some contrast paints.
Right, so...
Yeah.
That'd be ableist. I'd forgotten about that. It's been such a long week.
I feel like I've broken this guy, so I'll take him off his base.
Yeah, so Tom has done... So can you explain it to me the way you explained it to me before? You sprayed it with the black spray and the white spray.
I got a couple of little bits.
Yeah. So
I sprayed an Orc Warboss.
Yeah.
With the white spray.
So here.
I'm just showing you.
There you go.
Orc Warboss with the white spray.
I'll hold it up to the camera.
There you go.
Talk, yeah.
And I sprayed a Orc Shooter Arm with the black spray.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay.
And what I've done
yeah.
is I have painted each one with a yellow, which is a light color.
I see.
The yellow contrast.
Yep.
And a green, which is the dark color I'm testing. So Rob, if you hold the Warboss up to the camera for me.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me which part of that model is yellow? Painted yellow.
The head.
The head, yes.
And the gun.
And the gun and the shoulder pads and the armor, yeah?
Yes, sir.
And which parts are green?
The arms and the face.
Now, Rob,
yes, sir.
Can you hold up the I painted black?
Absolutely no problem.
Can you tell me which part is painted yellow?
I can't.
No, neither can I.
I mean, if I look close, I'd say the gun, but then the arm, I can't tell what that's painted at all.
That's green.
So this is Tom's contrast test. Now, I'd like everyone to point out that Tom has had an interesting journey with the hobby. And when Tom told me this tale, he said, well, I've sprayed it with the white spray and I've sprayed it with the black spray. So, Tom, I now get to unveil to you that when they released the contrast paints, they also released 2 new base coat sprays.
Yes.
Neither of which you've used.
No.
Did you know that they'd released them?
No. But that looks okay with a white spray.
It looks absolutely, I would argue, exactly the same as probably...
So you're telling me by not buying the Games Workshop product, I did a good thing?
Well, is this not a white spray from Games Workshop?
No.
Oh, right.
It's from the range and cost me £4.
Halfords.
No, the range.
Oh, right. From the range.
Yeah.
So... The fact that you didn't know that there was a space.
No one bloody told me.
Did you also know that there's this? Do you know what medium is? Lamia medium.
Yes.
So
I use that on transfers.
Okay, good. That shouldn't. You should use Microsol and Microset, but we'll
fuck
ignore
off.
that. The other bit is that they've got a special medium that you also use on this stuff if you wanted to thin them down for some reason, even though they go on exactly like. Now, Tom, more than anyone, you and I, we paint to play. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll give you that back.
Thank you.
And
Can I have the arm back too, please? I
course you
need
can,
that
sir.
for my army.
We paint to play, so we've done our fair share of spray things white and then cover it in a wash. Have we
Yep.
not? Would you say that the contrast is in any way different to just a wash? Because I would
It's
say
a darker wash.
yes, that's true.
Yeah.
On the darker colours.
I reckon when I finish this up, it'll look good.
I agree. So
think
you're
I
excited
reckon
about the contrast. Do you think that they're going to help you as a hobbyist?
Yes.
Okay. Even more exciting now that you know there are some base coat sprays.
I'm not going to use a base coat sprays.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep using the white because it appears to work all right.
It does. The green looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Truth be told.
Yeah,
for
the
an
yellow
orc.
looks less good, but
Huh?
I'm not as much of a fan of the yellow. Oh, but I haven't even washed that down, so I'm probably going to put some Agrax Earthshade, the saviour of all things, on the gun just to dull it down a little bit.
So what you're going to do is
I'm basically using the
you're going to wash
contrast
it.
paints as a
Base colour.
right? So that's probably the plan.
which is exactly. So I did. I've just this week I've built and semi-painted 240 models, which is quite impressive. Thank you. 40 pink horrors, 100 brimstones, and 100 blues.
Nice.
And
I quite like painting the brimstones because you can just dry brush on and make them look like flames.
It's so good.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
what I did was the OG version of contrast paints, which is I just sprayed it the color I wanted,
I mean, you dip them in a bag.
and then I dry brushed them kind of a lighter color,
Okay.
and then I put the appropriate color wash on. So yellow wash, red wash, blue wash,
There you
and then it looks fine.
go. Good. Have you got any?
Oh no, they're downstairs.
Okay, well, we won't bother with that. That's fine.
They looked okay.
That's for the
I was
AOS
chuffed
show.
with them.
Yeah.
So I've done some
Good.
hobby this week as well, which has been
Nice.
very, very fun.
I like how we're about, an hour and a half into the show and we're just talking about what our hobby was.
Listen, this is hot goss. Dave Frazier's excited, or you could try a base color. I agree, Dave Frazier. I agree.
Mate, I like this, but this base colour has, it goes into the recesses and that, so I don't need to.
That's true, although you have just told me that you are going to be washing it.
Brown, but only on the yellow bits because it's a bit garish for me.
Jim 1080 says, I kind of can't see the difference with my paint style to base coating and washing with Agrax versus contrast, which is how I feel. Alan Joe says, I posted a few different things on the Hobby Hangout channel on Discord. Well, I will go and look at those. I appreciate that.
There you go. Yeah.
What I really do like, actually, is the two new sprays are actually awesome because they are off-white, as Alan Joe
There are new
points out.
sprays, Rob.
Yeah, Wraithbone and Gracia.
I can see some Wraithbone over there.
Yeah, and it is off-white, more of an eggshell, kind of like a tapioca.
Marbly.
Marble's another one. Cue ball
Creed.
white. Washing machine.
Cue balls are just white and they just get dirty because everyone keeps rubbing their greasy
It's
hands
still
on
a
it.
colour. Washing machine. Like 2-day-old laundry. Trying to
Only
think of
2
some-
days.
Well, I'm just trying to think of other types of white colour. No more descriptions. Okay.
Let's have a look at the different patches on the walls.
So you've done some hobby, you tried the contrast out, and as a 40k player, you are a fan?
Yeah. It's better than mine, so yeah, I'll use it. I've also done 80 bases today, and I need to do 100 models tomorrow for a tournament on Saturday.
What are the mod?
Mainly Gretchen.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
they'll be fun. Let's just contrast them and some hats.
Okay. I'd like to try it on something that's organic, like Nurgle. I think they'd be a great shout.
Demons.
Great demons or Tyranids.
Yeah, there you go. Tyrannids.
They'd be badass for Tyranids, I'd say.
I was watching a video today where someone was talking about the Apocolypse box sets, and one was saying, "Oh well, I don't feel confident painting Tyranids, but I'm really tempted." And I was like, "Well, there you go. Get some contrast out."
Get it in. But I've also got airbrush as well, so I think that's probably the
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe you can use that on some of the Apocolypse box sets.
Well, great segue
That was pretty
into
good, wasn't it?
nice. So we are now going to be talking about bum. And if you guys haven't joined us, quickly, Games Workshop have made a microsite for Apocolypse, and on it they have a video with the most hilarious backing track ever. Apocalypse! Apocalypse!
That's getting clipped like, immediately.
Right, so
dear.
Apocalypse, the release.
Apocalypse.
Playing Warhammer 40,000 at grand scale.
Apocalypse.
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 Apocalypse. And I want to play it just so we can always do that forever.
Yeah. Also, we need to buy the counters. But anyway, never mind.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So
We'll make her run out of paper.
No. There's also the book as well. So they released a book, and it does feel very much like a gaming system on the scale that Kill Team is. And what I mean by that is it's the same level. I feel they're
It's like the other end of the spectrum.
It is. It is. And in their video, I think absolutely, they said that like while Kill Team is all about is dealing with models. 40k is all about playing with units, and Kill Team is all about playing with detachments
Or just big toys.
big toys. Well, so what happens is you build an army the same way that you would build you build a detachment of an army in the same way that you would build a detachment in 40k.
Yes.
Right. And then then I imagine the points cost are attributable to as well.
Yes, I would assume so.
And then when you activating in your turn, you activate.
Although it won't use match play rules, so buy yourself a super chicken for 700 points.
Oh my god! What, it won't?
Well, why would it? It's a different game system.
Well, so I've got loads of things to talk about. Let's break it down individually. How I know it's a big deal for Games Workshop? They made a microsite.
They did.
Yeah.
And they made a video.
They fucking love microsites. Basically, that's their way of saying that we care about a product. They're like, we made a microsite, and everyone's like, yeah, okay. And they're like, but look, they fucking love them.
We made a website, boys.
Yeah, we made it. But no, they love the term microsite. They're like, hey, have you been to this little website? It's the fucking coolest. Yeah, APOC uses power. Ooh.
Yeah, so super chicken anyway. It's 35 power level.
Well, hold on. So they actually have done.
And Admech are screwed.
They've done data sheets. Right, so you're moving me on too quick.
I'm
Sorry.
done.
So they made a microsite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it's a big deal to Games Workshop. So that's how we know.
Yes.
Following up, the next thing that they've done is they've made a data sheet for every unit in the game. That's what they've said. Yeah. And they're all free. All the data sheets. Yeah.
Did someone say?
No, it's free. So there are ones that you're able to So they've got some printed versions that you're able to buy, but they're going to be all of the data sheets are available as free PDFs. They've said, or they're going to be available as free PDFs, which is huge, right? Because effectively, the difference between free right now, soon. Yeah, they'll be free soon. But I think that's going to be this Saturday. But the huge distinction between Age of Sigmar and 40k, as someone who wants to get into the game, especially, is all of the rules for Age of Sigmar units are freely available on the Age of Sigmar app.
Yeah, if only 40k had one of those.
Yeah, if only one day. I mean,
we can dream.
They've been dead for. They did announce one 2 years ago. Do you remember?
No.
Adepticon. Yeah, not this Adepticon, but the Adepticon.
I don't give a shit about what happens at Adepticon. So.
Yeah, but they did. They announced it. They were like, "We're gonna do this thing." Careful now. This is the same company that brought you Chaos Demons.
Did they bring us Chaos Demons?
No. Right. It has its own data sheets. It's not play for 40k Prime, its own game. No, I know. So they have their own. They have their own data sheets. But what's important is that they're free, because then you can look at them before you ever pick up a book, and you'll be like, I'm excited about
before you ever invest.
Before you ever invest, and then you can be like, and as someone who has unfortunately spent too long of my life looking at the Age of Sigmar app, I desperately would love there to be a 40k version. I mean, Battlescribe does a really great job of it.
Yeah.
But because you just put a unit into Battlescribe,
and you can check its units,
and you can check its rules.
Yeah.
So that's a really solid system and works quite well. Whereas it's quite nice flicking through.
And also it means that you don't have to constantly keep up with points changes because the app automatically updates.
Yeah. I mean, I use a different. Yes, that works for Battlescribe really well as well. But the fact that it's free is huge, and it might be them paying attention to the fact that it's been. I find, like, if I wanted to go find out what, for instance, Howling Banshees do, I could just ask you. But also, if you weren't around or available at the end of a phone, I would have to go and buy the book. Yeah, or go on 1D4chan. Which, by the way, can we do a shout out to 1D4chan? Because the humour level on 1D4chan has got me.
1D4chan's pretty good.
It's really good. Come on, it's so good. It's like
when we do lore, it's the best.
The lore is the best. The lore is the best. I kind of want to start an entire YouTube show.
I think we should just read out 1D4chan articles into a microphone.
That should be our other 40k show. Yeah, just Rob and Tom's 1D4chan special.
Tom and Rob browse 1D4chan for Dan Claw.
Yeah, your favourite. Should we do that as a new 40k segment every week?
We all find our favourite 1D4chan lore and we just bring it to the masses.
Every week.
Yeah.
Sold. Done. That's our new feature, FYI.
Everyone. Bags of Caldor Drago for next week.
No 40k porn. Android.
I never said anything about 40k. Is that a thing, Rob?
Shuma Game says Android has a few apps that are basically searchable encyclopedias for 8th units. I couldn't play the game without the one I use now. There you go. I didn't know that.
Just don't say it out loud because Games Workshop will release for lawyers.
Yeah. Craw says yes. Konakami says 1D4chan is responsible for the Slith party bus. And Pokey John says Scub.
Slith party bus.
And then Wapedia.ru has everything. I think he's talking about...
of course it's .ru, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God! If they're not, I love Russia because they're just like
they're mental.
There are three things that they're really into: overtaking democracies.
Yes.
Yeah. Cabbages.
Yes.
Yeah. And
tracksuits.
No, that's more Poland. Fucking Warhammer. They love Warhammer so much.
They won the ETC in 2017.
They're so good at things. Anyway,
just these delinquent Gopniks that come over to Spain and wreck a big tournament.
Right. So the thing about Apocolypse is and the data sheets being free. I'm a huge fan of that because it makes me want to. And I know they're not the 40k data sheets,
but they're data sheets for
they're
a
data
game.
sheets, and it might also indicate that might be where they take 40k in
Please
the future.
Do that. Yeah.
So that units are more like look upable and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Next up, microsite with all the cool things. I thought that meant
microsite.
Yeah, microsite. I thought that was a cool little addition though. But the game is fundamentally different to 40k.
Oh yes, it's like how it's different in the same way Kill Team's different.
Yes, in a big way. But we've seen some of the core aspects. Have you seen anything about how the game plays? ATM?
I haven't seen much about the game plays. I've seen a lot about the releases though.
Okay, well, I'll tell you about the gameplays. We'll talk about the releases after.
Sounds good.
So the way the game plays is if you have detachments of any. Dude, thank you for subscribing for 19 months. And he also says, hi, nerds. Well, hi to you too. Thanks for being here. 19 months is an amazing amount of time. You guys, thank you for sticking with us. You guys are fucking badass.
You're welcome.
So you activate... Thank you to you, John.
Only because I'm on 19 months as well. We'll have that. We need a platinum emote for people.
So you activate a detachment, and you give a detachment an order, so the whole detachment activates.
So it's like a canticle.
No, so let's say you had. So just imagine an army that you've built recently. Pick one of the detachments that's in there. You activate.
Oh, I get you.
You activate the whole detachment, and you can give it a.
So it's not like an ability that activates on the whole detachment.
No.
It's like.
And you give it an action, right? You give it like an action, and then it can do a couple of things. Like it can either kind of like hold better and shoot better, or it can move and it has penalties and stuff. But it does the work. But then where we get into the damage phase is you damage units. And then if you like kind of half wipe out the unit, like they get blast markers and a bunch of other things next to them. So it's really marker orientated. But what's important is you don't resolve the damage until the damage phase after. Which
happens after all units have activated, right?
Yes, I think so. Yes, I think maybe it's after that detachment activates. But no, I think it's at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
But
it's like morale phase.
Yeah, so what's interesting is you activate all the detachments, then you do the damage phase. But so if a unit's been half murdered, instead of taking half the models off, you just leave them where they are, but then they do half the number of shots. And then if they're murdered, you just take them off.
Yeah.
So you only are really ever moving a model or deploying a model or taking them off units, as opposed to having to like take one off here, take two off there. So You got any thoughts on that?
I mean, I guess it streamlines the
Also,
game
Twitch
a little
chat.
bit.
Huh?
It streamlines the game quite a lot as well, and it actually allows you to play with your big toys, because one of the main issues you had when you played Apocalypse previously was that more of the enjoyment would be in the setting up of the game rather than actually playing it, because you'd spend ages on your cool big toy and then everyone else gets intimidated by it and shoots it off the board. Which means that now you actually get to play with your big toy for at least a turn.
At least a turn.
You've got some guaranteed value there, right?
Which
it's like Yogs are on in Hearthstone.
Yeah, like you just got a dude there, like, and it even lets you just put like shit on, like, you know, you put. I don't mean this, intercessors. I don't mean that they're rubbish.
Yeah,
I do.
intercessors are alright.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're all right.
they're alright.
They're all right. But you can put them on the board. But at least you get, like Chris is saying. Also, big shout out to Chris. Means that everything gets at least one turn to use.
Is that
everything.
Saboteur, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big love. So yeah, you do get to put you get to put everything gets a go, which is fun because there's nothing worse than, I mean, everyone's got new model syndrome, right? Painted up your new model, gets murdered.
Yeah, it gets 20 poo grenades flung at it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
So Dude Like This says, sounds like an extra complication tracking damage units until a removal phase, or am I missing understanding? So they provide markers, and then you just apply all the markers to the different units.
You put gems next to them.
Blast markers.
Yeah.
And then there are wound markers next to them to then show you. So it's all fairly complicated. It not complicated. I thought it looked fairly simple, personally. But it is very different. Not very different, but it is quite different to 40k in some ways. So it's like Kill Team in that it's arguably quite different, because Kill Team is different, right?
Yes.
And the question is do you like that concept? Do you like that everything gets to still have a turn before it gets taken off? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, great. I love it, especially in Apocalypse games, because I don't. It just doesn't seem fun when you turn up with your big toy and you just want to use it and then it just dies immediately.
Yeah.
It feels like you've wasted all that time and money. So.
Yeah, agreed. Like, especially when you travel over, right?
Yeah, 100%. And you've spent all that time not going through Manchester Airport and go through all the other airports so that it doesn't get broken.
Yes. Yeah, you're being super serious.
Just don't go via Manchester.
Ever. Oh, wait, I'm going via Manchester.
Are you taking plastic toys?
No, I'm taking cameras.
Make sure they're very well wrapped.
I bought a pelly case.
Brilliant.
Well done, go film me, guys.
So long as it's not on the underslung thing, you'll be fine as well.
I'm going to write on it, very fragile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, insure it. Get insurance.
Yeah.
100%, because they just lob stuff across the...
Anyway.
I ended up in Croatia and my entire Knights case was just smashed.
Oh.
But it was like a plastic box I got from Staples that was filled with foam, but it was still like...
Yeah, proper pelly case. We should be safe.
Yeah.
Touch wood. All right, Saurus Knight. I like the sound of it being more streamlined and the way it works, so it's not just big 40k. I agree with that.
I like how it's a different game system.
Alan Draw says infantry units are effectively stands of X models, so a unit of 10 X warriors is a singular game entity. You don't pull off individual models. Yeah, that's what I just...
Which is why they released movement trays.
Which is why they released movement trays. That's why.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Watersburg says, it sounds like a moneymaker to me. I would agree with you there.
Good.
And then Hermanista says, evening.
If they release good games, I want them to make money off it so they can release more.
Agreed. Yeah, but then we also don't want to do the thing that Warhammer World Events has, where they do a terrible job and we keep giving them money. They won't learn. Someone make a better 40k tournament. I'll say it again.
We do.
Who?
Well, there's loads of 40k tournaments going on all the time. I'm going to one this weekend.
More better.
More better.
Yeah.
More congested.
Yeah. Less ITC.
Or more advertising.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll help there. Julie says, sounds like business opportunity for Tom Crystal wound markers. Oh my!
I've already got lots of sachets of crystals.
Chintelli says, data sheets are free, blast markers are $6.99 each. Lol.
I even have little crystals and big crystals.
Uh?
I have little crystal markers for my mech guns to say they're fired, which you can use as the small blast markers. And then I've got the big crystals that I use to make the mech guns, which are the big blast markers.
Perfect. Easy. Wounds work different
I'll sell
as well.
them to teenagers on the street.
Yeah. Wounds work different as well. It's fixed roll to wound infantry or armor. So they have a strength versus against tanks and a strength against...
That sounds like armor values and toughness values to me, Rob.
No way.
I am shooketh.
What? I am shooketh. Source Knight says my guard tanks will get to do something before destroyed. If it means I can play a 10k game of 40k, a 10 game of 40k, a 10k game of 40k in a day, then I'm up for it. Love playing with all the big toys.
It's not a 10k game of 40k though.
Just Nikos says, where the fuck is Nikos?
I don't know. we haven't missed him though.
Tom, have you got any thoughts on where he is?
Yeah,
I heard after the announcement that that they would be instituting the ITC terrain rules at the heats, Nikos actually got on a plane, went over to America, and he fought Jeff Robinson in the street with his top off.
I would legit pay to watch that, though.
Yeah, I would legit to pay to watch that.
I reckon if they met each other, it would
Especially
happen
as
as
Nikos
well.
to make him fucking cry.
We need to take Nikos to the London GT so they can fight.
Yeah, but apart from Nikos a win.
It'd be funny, though.
Yeah.
It'd be a funny fight. Like, we could get, like, a pay-per-view going on.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. But I don't know what happens when. Never mind. There's so many fucking rude things I was going to say then. But instead, I just said that I love Nikos loads and he's fantastic. That's what
I
I'll
ate
say.
him. We're like Russian dolls.
Herman says, I'm trying the tournament front. I'm trying out on the tournament front, though. Someone has been waylaid by the fact I'm getting married on Saturday. Congratulations, Hermanista.
There's a tournament, dude.
Yeah. The system takes inspiration from old Epic. Tom's Crystal. Nikos has a court appearance for punching a baby. We consider playing Epic with the new APOC rules. I'd fight that son of a bitch, says Nikos. Anyway.
I think you're about the same height, actually. So you might be in the same weight class.
Yeah, you just take less steroids, Nick.
Fucking hell. What did you just drop?
I'm not the one suffering from roid rage. Anyway.
Oh, crumbs.
Right. Oh, crumbs. That's what you say, crumbs. That's so mature. Right. So the blast markers are applied, and then the models, as stated, single entities, and then they get removed, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And it's there, and they've said that they think it speeds the game up, and you'll be able to play an Apocolypse game pretty quickly, especially as you activate attachment, you activate detachment, you activate detachment. They then have announced that they're going to release the new Repulsor heavy tank.
It's got a big dildo on the
It's
front.
got a bigger gun on the front, which will slow down the games as you have to fire every gun that it has on it.
Yes. Or will they scale back the number of shots per gun in line with Apocolypse?
Huh?
Or will they scale back the number of shots per gun in line with Apocolypse?
I would desperately hope so, but I doubt it.
The table is just dice. You walk around the table, stand on with mini GW dice.
So does everyone in the chat like the idea? I genuinely like the idea.
Yeah, I like it too.
I like the idea. Not super in love with the concept of having, like, if I want to play this game, I've obviously got to go and buy all the markers. But it does.
We can make our own markers.
We could make our own markers. Yeah. But it does seem
Honest Wargamer markers.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
We actually
your unit has taken 1 Nikos.
but it's been powered up by 3 Toms.
Exactly, there you go.
Mortinus, thank you for subscribing for the first time. That's
Someone's
great.
got a big dick.
Wait, what's the
BDE.
No, the other thing.
And you're breathtaking.
Oh, you're breathtaking, Mortinus.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my new thing. I'm gonna say. People say
There you go.
you're breathtaking. Alandrill's hype as shit. The markers come in the box. I'm looking forward to it mainly to run more nights as Hermanista.
What box?
The
Apocolypse boxes. The ones I don't need to buy because I've already got too many toys as it is.
Yes. So,
Okay.
Red Sun says, I like alternating adaptations and shit sticks around for the full round at least. And I agree. I like it too. Shuma, I like the phases of APOC, but removing strength and toughness is a nightmare to me. Yes. So that's the other thing as well. They've removed strength and toughness.
That obliterators are now as tough as Gretchen.
I think they're going to remove strength and toughness in the next edition of 40k.
Ooh.
So it works super lovely in Age of Sigmar because it always does a thing where strength and toughness is a weird
Although
thing.
you will have a save value, I guess, that you can use to compensate for that, right?
Yeah, I think they'll do away with it because it's so problematic.
The save value.
Huh?
The saving throw.
Not the saving throw, the strength toughness value.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't really do its job. Because as we've talked about before, I think their AP issue is huge as well. We've talked about that. Like, if
You mean both the things that they changed?
well, no, I like the idea. No, I think AP is great, but they gave
Well,
out
they changed
AP.
how it worked.
Yeah, they're like, you're AP4, and it's like, wow, that's pretty big. So
Whereas before it was like a massive drop off between AP3 and AP2.
yeah, absolutely. Like AP3 should be like super rare in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's why vehicles without invuns are so like.
Yeah, and one of the reasons Warp Spiders were so dominant was because they were strength 6, and in the old edition it was like if you were 1 point better in strength than the opposing toughness, it was 3+ to wound, 2 points better, 2+ to wound. So all the toughness 4 stuff's getting wounded on 2s.
Which is just brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, Initiative 4 even, because War Spiders. But yeah.
The APOC core set is a box with the rulebook, 6 sheets of counters, tokens, and 300 commander asset cards.
I heard it's £60 as well.
Yeah. Yes, it's £60, which for a whole right. So
It's
this
not
is
as
where
it's not as bad as the D-Day lander that AdMech have.
we'll talk about that in a minute. So we haven't even got to that bit of news yet. So so 60 quid, but for an entire new way to play.
And it's a rulebook and all the counters you need.
Counters, all the rules you need. It's the way of playing. No, it's all the models you've currently got, but you can play a different, complete game of 40k.
Yeah.
Because I reckon you don't have to play like 10,000 points.
It's like having a demon's army.
Yeah, I reckon you can play like 2,000 or 3,000 points and just have an all right evening.
Yeah.
And it could be fine. It feels quite board gamey.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when I was watching it, I was like, not war gamey. They are very different.
Yes.
Like when I was watching the how to play video, I was like, this feels like a board game. There's like a lot of tokens, and Games Workshop are super into that now, aren't they? Like they're like all about the tokens, and that could be, if you were being mean, you could think it's a mercantile push by the head of Books and Box Games because he wants to make more money on his P&L sheet at the end of the year and therefore get a promotion, or they really want us to play new games of Warhammer, or both.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Probably both.
Probably both. However,
although you do want to make more money if you're in if you're working for a company and your job is to create products people will enjoy and purchase, then
agreed.
don't really blame them for that.
No. There's no criticism.
So just make a good game and people will buy it.
That's the key part. Yeah. And do you think that the bits that you've heard make it sound like it's going to be a good game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I want to play it first. But
I think I would also. Chris Steele, thanks for subscribing.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. I would. I think
breathtaking.
You are breathtaking. Yeah. I think I'd like to play it. I really. Do.
Yeah. We should give it a go maybe on stream at some point.
We should. I think is it out this weekend or pre-order this weekend?
I think it's on pre-order this weekend, isn't it?
Okay, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Especially as we're able to put like large armies down as well, and it does.
Get all the nights out.
Yeah. Do we think APOC tournaments then say 2.3 to 3,000 point games?
We could do an APOC tournament. Could be cool. I didn't even think about that. It's a good idea. We'll have to see how the game works first, and then we can maybe give it a try. But
I like the idea of it anyway. At least so you've got. Yeah, I think we've covered all of the key tenets of it, of how it works. I mean, but the fact that they've done, it's a big deal to them. They've made a microsite and they made a data sheet for everything in the game.
Yeah, I know.
Which is where I don't think
that's where all the rules writers went.
Exactly. That's what they've been doing in 40k currently. And I would I'd also say, Schumer Games reckons one-on-one APOC sounds super boring. It's too simple.
I mean, 8th edition is pretty simple.
Huh?
8th edition is pretty simple too.
It is pretty simple.
We'd have to find out how simple it is.
I think 40k.
I feel like there's a lot.
Does anyone think 40k is complicated?
No.
No.
I feel like it's really easy to pick up. I still think there's a lot of stuff we haven't done with 40k yet, but we could do, mainly just above the table stuff and ways of forcing your opponent to think. But
it's in the list writing.
I don't think in the list writing is an important part, but I don't think I'll be like one of those dudes to do it because I just don't have that kind of mathematical brain. But I reckon if we did professionalize 40k, you'd see the standard of the top tier play improve dramatically.
Agreed. But I don't think it is densely complicated. I think actually
it's not complicated, but it's still not refined.
Yeah, especially in a stale meta because of no releases or points changes.
True. I mean, we've had Yunari, but they haven't really made an impact. We've had Assassins, they have made an impact, but mainly in team events, because previously people were just taking Assassins in their singles armies anyway. Renegade Knights are going to have a big impact, I think. Maybe we'll see Knights coming back again. But
yeah. Oh yes, we've got Chaos Knights coming soon. I got an interesting point to make. I play SFB, so All Games Workshop. A child's play. I don't know what SFB is.
No.
Street
Fighter. Brotherhood. If someone could explain that, then that's fine.
Schumer says if APOC plays itself...
I'm not saying they're not easy games.
Schumer says if APOC plays itself, then it's too simple for competitive play. Maybe it just narrow...
I hope it doesn't play itself.
You'll still have threat ranges, right?
I mean, Sure,
Yeah.
but if your threat range is 160 inches, then it's not really a threat range.
The Death Strike to end all Death Strikes.
There you go. That's 240 inches, that one.
Starfleet Battles. I've not played that, Grubby. Is it good? We should maybe play that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Isn't the new APOC just 28 millimeter scale Epic Armageddon? Yes, I am.
It's a
No,
war game.
it's not. It's just the current models.
I still have some Epic in my house.
It's just the current models that you just use in the game.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy more models.
No, which is good.
Yeah.
It's the models
It's
they
really
sell.
accessible because you've already played the game.
Yeah.
You just played it a lot, so you have lots of
And they
models.
have given you now 3 ways to play your 40k models. You can play it in Kill Team, play it in 40k, you can play it in APOC.
Woo!
And I don't mind that. I think that's actually really
Yeah,
good.
it's brilliant.
Yeah. It's the best game, says Andrew. Maybe
Actually, I'll have a look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's look up book 6, page 823, section 4, column. No, I'm not playing
That sounds like law.
I'm not playing that.
I'll play that. Starfleet Battles, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll note that down.
Yeah, I will never play that. Is that based on the Star Trek ships? Because
I don't
that would get me in.
I don't know. I did play a bit of X-Wing. I'm currently undefeated in X-Wing. I've played 3 games.
Tom, if there was a sci-fi franchise that they could make a tabletop war game of, which one would you want it to be of? Question also to the chat. Oh, great question. Oh, I've silenced him. Should have prepped with this.
I don't really.
Scrivo says Fireflies. Scrivo, who would the factions be in
There's
Firefly?
already a Firefly game, isn't there?
Huh?
There's already a Firefly game, isn't there?
There is a Firefly board game. I'm talking about a tabletop war game with miniatures.
Alright. Halo has one, doesn't it?
Datcom says Starship Troopers.
Halo does have one, doesn't it?
Halo does have one, yeah.
Yeah.
Command and Conquer. Nice.
Oh, is that sci-fi though? Oh, Tiberium Sun. Yeah, of course.
There's a Firefly private pit.
I'd go for a Tiberium Sun one. Yeah.
Yeah, Command and Conquer Red Alert. That's based on the original Star Trek. Oh
Yeah,
my
but
God.
Command and Conquer Red Alert was Cold War, wasn't it? Command and Conquer Red Alert was like mid-90s.
Or 2019.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Red Alert, Middle East.
So before we get on to the other 40k news, which is the release of 2 new models. So that's
Yes.
APOC. Yeah?
Oh, well, we've still got all the, you also have all these massive battle forces, which are
Never
really
mind.
good.
Tell me about them.
So you've got
sorry.
a bunch of battle forces that have been released, that are going to be released for Apocalypse.
Also, Zaradin, sorry not to cut you off. Zaradin just said Babylon 5 would be amazing. I'd just like to also point out that I got told a little hot tip. If you actually look at Battlefield Gothic, so if you play Battlefleet Gothic.
No, I haven't.
Okay, did you ever watch Babylon 5, the TV show?
No.
Okay.
I was 4.
I live for the one, I die for the one. Right, but if you actually look at the Babylon 5 ships, and then if you look at the Battlefield Gothic ships, you'll go, oh, hold on.
Ooh, Battlestar Galactica could do a good one.
There are only 2 factions. But they made a great board game. But my point is if you look at the 40k ships, they've either been ripped, either Babylon 5 ripped the ship design off of 40k, or 40k, more likely, ripped the ship design of Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Like Eldar, look up.
Never steal anything. Definitely not off Stargate.
Or Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars or
Oh
anything.
dear. And then Blizzard comes along and steals the stolen. Oh dear.
There was a. Please carry on.
Oh, right.
About the
So
battle
you've got-
boxes.
So all the battle boxes are £100,
Yeah.
apparently. So you've got one, which is Imperial Knights, which is a Castellan / Valiant with 2 Omega Helverins.
So there's a save in there.
Yeah, it's a big saving, man.
Wow.
Yeah, because the Omega, sorry, the Helverin, Helverin's are £45 for 2. And then the Castellan is £90, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's £135 normally, so you're saving £35.
Nice.
You've got an Eldar one with 2 Wraith Lords, I'm so sorry, a bunch of Wraith Guard, and one of the terrain pieces. You've got an Admech one with lots of Castellan robots. You've got a Necron one with lots of fast attack choices.
FYI, the one with the Castellan robots. I know there are some pretty affluent people who listen to the show. So I was thinking of the best way to do it. If there's someone out there who wants to buy every single one of those, everywhere from every shop on the earth, then build them and then give them to children to play with as toy robots, so as to never let them ever be in the game
here's
of
the thing,
40k,
you only
because
ever
they're
need 3 in your
ugly
army.
as hell. They are gross looking.
You only need 3 in your
robots.
armies, though.
Huh?
You only need 3 in your army, and there's 6 in the battle box.
I don't want none
So
ever.
50 quid, split it between your mates.
They look
Sorry.
gross.
They do look a bit gross, but that's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Mate, I can't complain about other things looking gross.
I can.
Yes, you can, but I
I'm
can't.
doing it. They just so much. Anyway, whenever I haven't. I'm just because I'm building, psyching myself.
They
up to
look
talk
like,
about the AdMech transport.
What's that that big little hero or whatever it is? Big Hero 6. That Disney movie with the big fucking the one that looks like the Michelin Man.
Don't know.
Chat'll get it.
Yeah.
Right. Big Hero 6 or whatever it is. The guy in that.
Oh yeah, no, yes. Big Hero 6.
There you go.
Yeah, the cute little the fluffy guy.
It looks like Castellan Robot.
Yeah. Baymax. That's what he's called.
There you go.
He's called Baymax.
It's called Baymax. There you go. He knows it's Disney.
Even Big Old Fish. How much are all
Disney.
the new releases in your shop with the chat staff discounts to do that day? FYI, we are opening our own store.
I don't think
We're
that,
not.
I'm not sure if staff will get a discount on them though, because they're a limited print.
Yes.
So I'd be surprised if they would. If it wouldn't make sense, because the staff will just like leech them all and sell them on the internet. That's what I do.
The robot is called Baymax, and he's like fist bump.
Yeah.
Fist bump.
Yeah.
That's what you should do to all of the.
That's how
Castellan-
you fist bump them.
Yeah, with your fist until pieces.
Or just with your shining spears.
But then, see how I didn't say like burn them or anything because I'm being super environmentally friendly. I'm like build them, give them to kids to play with. Because
Then the kids will burn them.
or the kids will throw them in the sea because they're like, these are disgusting. I'm a child. I've seen well-designed models at this stage.
dear.
Dad.
Yeah, I know where plastic goes.
Yeah, this looks
sea.
rubbish. Yeah.
Yeah, straight in there. There we go.
I remember I says I did draw a Betamax face on mine.
Yeah, there you go. So
Right.
there's no Custodes box. There's no Grey Knights box. There's
What?
no Drakari box. I think everything else has a box. Even the Tyranids one, which only has 5 models in it. But they've all kind of got their identity. So the Imperial Guard one has a bunch of tanks. And then the Necron one has a bunch of skimmers. And then the Space Marine and Chaos Space Marine ones have battalions because they're boring as shit. The Eldar ones kind of got all the race stuff, all that kind of thing. So they have got an identity. They're not just a random collection of units.
Yeah.
Tau one's all suits. It's all that kind of stuff.
So especially cool as there's a discount, which is
Very
great.
big discount.
Big discount, which is great. Well done, Games Workshop.
Yeah.
The ability to just especially if you're wanting to play in this style of game, is you just buy a couple of these boxes or a box of whichever your flavor is, and you just stick it in your army. Like, cool. And because it's a detachment, you activate it, you use it, you're good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it tactically nuanced? No way. Is it meant to be like you and your mates get pissed and just read some rules? Absolutely. Do I love that? Oh, fuck yeah, I love that. I really could do with
Beer and pretzels.
I could really do with having some fun playing with my 40k toys at the minute. I really could. Like, it's something I love the narrative so much. I watch that, just loads. I'm just super into it. And it would be so good if I could have some games that I felt were like, I feel like every 40k game I play, because I only play match play,
Yes.
is always razor edge, knife serious.
Yeah.
And I'm not really even that as a gamer. I like to win.
Of course.
But I'm a pretty risky balls out on the wall gamer a lot of the time, and it really doesn't. And most of my games are 40k. I'm like, okay, yeah, you've won, well done. Let's deploy. Or
Let's kill each other's toys.
yeah. Let's kill it off. Let's see how it goes. And then that's maybe my fault because if you don't take a top tier army, then you've been your own sort of scrub. And I am aware of what's good as well. So I should at least be competent enough to do that. I've really enjoyed watching all of those Custodes tanks being painted up on my Twitter. It's fucking killing me watching it. Everyone's like, oh, I've always liked Custodes.
Do you like a Callidius? Yes. Yes.
3 Callidius. I've seen so many Callidius been painted, and I've been into them.
I fucking hate Callidius. It's so much shit. I hate that unit more than I hate any other fucking unit in the game. I hate that unit more than looters. It's what the fuck is this bollocks? It's literally designed to fuck orcs in the ass. That's all it's fair to do.
You don't like it?
No, it's fucking awful. All it does is kick out a shit ton of firepower, hitting on 2s rolling 1, so it never misses because that's what it's allowed to do.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to miss because you've got a dude standing there who you can't even hear because there's no way to get into your fucking stupid tank. Then you kill 30 boys, and then the remaining boys can't even charge you because for some reason you're floaty fuckhead just sitting in the middle of a board going, woo, you can't get me, woo. And you stick it in some trees and you can never even touch it anyway to charge it because it's a floaty fucker. It's got 2 fucking little legs just sticking out floating. I don't even know what it is. Imagine if someone stands in the middle.
Because it's listen, the Emperor of Man, it's his elite special forces, elite special tank.
It looks like a shit Star Wars bomber.
Wait, hold on.
What happened to the box?
Are you telling me that they stole the design from pod races?
Yes, of course they did. Of course they did. It doesn't even look like an Imperial vehicle. Look at how curved that fucker is. Give it to Eldar.
Oh, wait, no,
Eldar has enough broken shit, but you're not going to see it anyway.
There's actually some really good law defense for that if you want to hear it.
No.
If you don't want to. Okay.
No, I'm not giving you any way to justify this abomination. It's just fucking shit. Who decided to give it every rule that you could possibly give it to fuck hordes and melee armies? Yes, you know what we really like about this game? The first turn, where people can now take armies, and the winner is whoever goes first and blows each other off the table.
Wait, haven't me and Nick said this for a while?
It's not about that. We've been doing a really good job of countering that and giving people options to actually win the game. Now, here's a big fast fucker that kills 30 models in a single go that you can never charge and reduces the game to just a fucking I shoot you, you shoot me shit fest.
I've really enjoyed people painting them on Twitter.
Fuck off, people on Twitter.
Because someone was painting one yesterday. He was like, my friend asked for a game of 40k, and then he didn't even show a picture of the rest of his army. He just showed a picture.
That's because you don't need any more army when you have three Calidiuses.
He just showed a picture of those 3 tanks, and I was like, you're a dick, but I didn't write it anyway.
Right. These are my Calidiuses.
No, stop. Doesn't matter what's behind
it.
Everyone in the chat has said, we love you, Tom. We're with you. Yeah.
Fuck
Can't have a
Calidiuses.
TV. What's up? Can't wait to come to Canada, give you a cuddle. And also, I'll give you Tom a cuddle for you.
Okay.
Yeah. He wants.
Well, Chris is coming to the ETC anyway, so.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, it's good fun. I like Chris.
All of those guys.
Despite his love for looters.
Despite.
He doesn't even love looters that much.
iCoopster says, I think I just joined Team 10. Team Tom.
Okay,
even.
good. Team 10
games. It doesn't look like Imperial vehicle. It's not awful looking shoebox with pipes.
It's awful looking shoebox
There
with
is
pipes.
what we trash talking because I'm always down. We're talking about the Custodes Calidius tank from Forge World.
Just ban Forge World.
What unit? So
And now I've lost the chat again.
I see where we're at. I see we're at 10 and I already missed 1 to 9. Someone update me. And Witch King says I only own 2, so I'm only 2/3 of a dick.
He's fine. So long as you don't have 3, you're okay.
The narrative as to why they look that way.
You don't justify this shit.
No, I'm not justifying it because, I will justify it because I am a Horus Heresy player.
Are you?
You know that.
Yes.
I've got Horus Heresy. army. I'm a big,
I've got a bit of a word bearers one building up.
That's why, I've got a huge Solar Auxiliary army, huge Mechanicum army, and when Custodes came out, I was super rad, super excited about, this was Forge World Custodes, which came out before Games Workshop Custodes by at least a year. So I read the narrative and I was obsessed with it, and that big black book came out with all the narrative in it. I was like, this is awesome. And it's because they've got tech above it. Imperium's like
the ability to curve things.
Well, yeah, because it's meant to be designed so the shape of the vehicles is meant to be representative of the cultural kind of you're meant to look a boxy, utilitarian
bare bones.
Built for function with no thought of aesthetic, Land Raider.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you're a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas you look at the Drukhari sailboat, a Ravager
And
or a
you think
destroyer.
you're a sailboat.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's you're pirates. You're a raider. You're meant to look at it and understand. Well, that's what the designers told me.
Okay, so what is the Custodes Calidius meant to be?
Well, all of the Custodians vehicles, because there is more than that. Yeah. Is they are meant to show you that they are not Imperial. There's everything in the wider Imperium, Astra Militarum tanks, Grey Knight vehicles, everything is that boxy kind of utilitarian design. And then you look at the Custodes range and it's utterly different.
I can tell that because it's busted.
Yeah, but ignoring the rules, you're meant to look at it and understand that the Emperor isn't human or Imperium. Yeah, and the Custodes also aren't too. You're meant to just from the sight go, oh, because really, Custodes don't look 1,000 miles away from exactly how a fucking Space Marine looks.
No, not really. They're just bigger.
Just bigger and more goldy.
Swole.
Yeah, more swole. Whereas actually, when
you would be after 10,000 years in the gym.
Do you know what I mean? Fucking ripping it all day long. But they're also genetically engineered. Unlike Space Marines, they're genetically engineered in the womb as opposed to genetically engineered later on in life.
Imagine pushing that out. Fucking hell.
I think they do them in tanks.
That's not the womb. It's fucking. This is a 7-foot baby just.
But and the only reason I want to touch base on that is because I was obsessed with that lore when it came out. I wanted when the 40k Codex for Custodes was coming out, I was like, fuck yes! And then the lore in that's awful in my opinion, which is really sad because that it's a bit like the Horus Heresy timeline as is. Like, so we've had all these books come out. We've started to explore. We know so much more about Primarchs, how they felt, the Emperor, how he felt, like all of those different interactions in the story because of the Horus Heresy. But now there's that bit of time that I want to know about, which is like the reunification with the Thunder Warriors, who basically sound like Keanu Reeves.
You're breathtaking.
Yeah, you're breathtaking. In Thingy 2077.
Cyberpunk 2072.
Yeah, right. They're all there, just with like their mohawks and big thunder hammers and badass.
And a dog.
So now there's like a mysterious thing I don't know, and that's the really cool thing about storytelling, which I think Games Workshop and 40K does so well, is they give you like a little slice of it, and I'm like, tell me more, and they're like, no. Anyway, I fucking.
That's why you ended up with like a 50 Horus Heresy books or whatever we're at now.
Yeah, but then eventually they'll do like not maybe. What's cool is it'll be a continuous. That's why I love the fact that we can be in this game till we die. Yeah, is because like the story will continue, and then at some point they'll get into doing the reunification.
Provided the company doesn't fold, but yeah.
I don't think.
And
it will,
even then, though.
Like, even then. If
Community will pick it up.
Yeah, someone will pick it up. So it's just badass. But the tanks rules suck dick, and they don't know how to write rules, and also obviously point things appropriately. Welcome to 40k, Tom.
Yeah.
That's how everyone else feels about Dark Reapers.
I don't play Dark Reapers anymore.
But when you did, that's how everyone felt, that feeling.
But I didn't have 30.
Okay, hold on. Just see what the guys in the chat are saying. Does the Mega Dread have rules?
Oh, weren't you building a Mega Dread for that event?
The Mecha Dread does have rules, and they're terrible.
Don't matter. Be fucking funny.
Yeah.
When we go 3-0 with that shit.
Shuma Games does point out the Mecha Dread does have rules, and it's awful. Agreed. But fucking great model.
It's good to know the chat's on the same page.
Yeah, we're all on the same page.
Despite the lag,
Yeah.
they get the same
What
point.
I like about us being the Honest Wargamer is we don't have to be like last week was a bit tough, right? Because Nick suggested we do a show about what's happened in 40k, and I went on a bit of a personal tough journey with that story.
Oh, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like...
We all have our own personal experiences, though, right?
Absolutely, and I've had a tough time with it because Games Workshop fundamentally let me down. Because while I was working for the company, they sold me this dream that it was going to be
Paradise
this paradise. Yeah, and then I actually got to grips with it, and I was like, this is most things suck. Yeah,
This Lenten utopia.
Yeah, and then as I've got further on, it's like everything else sucks, especially compared to Eldar. Right.
Eldar, is that the admission that Eldar don't suck?
It's that I don't want to have the route with you. Dude, like this is Tom complaining about Custodian's tanks are busted when he was happily deleting opponents with his armies.
I don't care about them being busted. I care that there's no counterplay. Legit.
There is legit. It's a tough spot, right?
The only counterplay is to make your own list boring.
My favourite. Angmamo says, well, I mean, they go under. They say custodians go under sometimes. What as ogrins? They are pretty swole.
Those are the ones who fail the SATs. Canhammer
TV says, how do I upload my picture of a Callidius whip? He wanted to see.
Oh, Callidius is the assassin. Calidus is the assassin. Callidius, the Custodes tank.
Yeah, that's what we're talking. Yeah,
I like the Calidus as a unit. I think the data sheet is really cool and adds something to the game.
The assassin.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it.
And their various side games lets them get even. I like the side games because they do help you explore. There's a counterplay with orcs. It's just not looters and choppers. And then
looters suck anyway, so it's fine.
And then tractor guns.
Fuck off, tractor guns. Okay, so I did some maths on this a few months ago. So I mathsed out all of the different mech gun options against a variety of different targets. So it was things like infantry, against things like vehicles, against things like flying Eldar flyers with a Latok. Smasher guns beat the tractor cannon in every category, point for point, apart from against a Latok Eldar flyers. And then they were exactly the same.
Okay.
In terms of all...
Yeah, I don't think tractor guns are good at all.
In terms of all, tractor guns came third behind the custom mega cannon and the smasher gun. I don't know why people keep taking tractor cannon because they clearly just don't do maths.
Agreed.
Got them.
Shock attack guns are the best.
Yes,
Not
they
shock
are.
attack guns.
Shock attack guns are really good. Smasher guns.
Smasher guns are the best.
And shock attack guns are really good.
And we announced that the day the book came out. I say
shock attack guns. I mean the shock attack gun relic and the Vigilus detachment. That's it.
They are. If you put Alejandro asked a question, and I think this is a good one. Apparently, according to CWA Crafter, this is a big meme. What if I put a Callidius tank on top of a Callidius tank?
Yeah, you can. Why not?
You can't do that.
Why not?
Why? Because they've got a base.
So?
You can't do that.
They've got fly.
You can't. You can't do that with a flyer.
Why not?
You can...
5 minute rules reference.
I'm
putting 5 Storm Ravens on top of each other on the table.
I love that concept.
Wait, a tower of wave serpents just pushing their way
I
around
would
the board.
fucking cry if someone did that. I don't think you're not allowed to do that.
It's like you got movement trays, but now you just kind of got like a little box that you just shunt them around in.
A Warboard TV. Thanks for following us, you weirdo. They put the assassin on the tank. Oh,
yes.
okay.
It's like the Iron Throne. It's meant to be really
I don't know
tall.
how we got onto those tanks. Talking of tanks,
Custodes because they didn't get an Apocolypse box.
Right, have we done all the Apocalypse boxes?
Well, yeah, fine, whatever.
We'll flip the table.
There's some Apocalypse boxes.
Oh, fucking hell, we have gone for a long time.
It's been good.
It's been great fun.
Never said we don't enjoy this show.
Mission Nick. Mission Nick.
It's Nick that makes it.
It's Nick that makes us angry. It's because of his rage.
This is why we just lay into each other.
It's
just
because of his rage.
Nikos just like projects an aura of bloodlust.
No, it's just fucking. It's because of the bloodletter bomb.
It's
Nikos
because of the
is the bloodletter bomb.
Yeah, he doesn't need to spend CP to make it work. It just happens.
Just icon of fury. Right. My question is.
That's why I end up punching kids.
So to round the show off, the other piece of news. So we've done all the APOC things.
Movement trays.
Oh, movement trays. Oh, movement trays.
I kind of feel like the way they've done movement trays is it's not very regimented in terms of where you put your bases. It's just kind of scattered around. Have you not seen it?
Yes, I have.
It's like someone scattered like 5 coins on the table and that's it. So as my perspective originally was, well, which games do you need to speed up to the point where you need movement trays? Competitive games. Which games are you going to want to be very precise about how you place your models? Competitive games. So, I mean, maybe people find them useful to like playing like casual games or something, but like, I don't know. I just won't be buying them.
So I actually have picked up a set of. So there's a company cove Minimag.
Oh.
Now, don't forget, we're not sponsored by anyone.
No.
We're only thanks you to Patrons and Twitch. So this is my personal experience. I've just based 200 models, and I started to put I magnetize them. So Minimag. What's cool about Minimag that I liked was that they're very singular in what they do. They sell you
mini magnets.
They sell you. Well, yes, they sell you trays in different shapes, and they sell you the magnets that go with those trays.
Okay.
So what's nice is there's not like which one do I? They're like just this one, just this one magnet. And I've used them today. I obviously used them on a Realm Battle board, and that sucked because they slid down. But they would have done that if they were individual anyway. They were quite nice though, quite tactile. What's nice is they stick on the tray, but not like.
Is it one of those cases where you can slide the tray into your case and you just carry your case around? Like
so you can do that as well, but also you can. What's nice is that they've got one that's like 32 mil with a gap, 32 mil with a gap. I wish in fact.
No.
I did have them.
Go and have a look.
No.
Even though we like,
Here we go.
it might take a while to find it. There you go.
Right, so you guys see that? Right, so what's cool is they don't do like 10 long of these. They do them in 3s, so they're still quite tactile. And if you wanted to just put one there, but I had one model there, one model there, one model there. But what was cool was I got into combat and then I just slid them across.
That's like an AOS one as well, though, because it's 1 inch.
That's 1 inch. Yeah, I don't know if they yet do a 2-inch version. But that said, I actually found these quite good today. They move quite nicely on a battle mat.
They won't work on Realm of Battle though.
But then nothing works on Realm of Battle.
No.
So like and they weren't rigidly stuck.
Unless you want to glue sand to the rims of the bottom of your base, then
yeah.
it's like sandpaper, just straight down the side.
See you later.com. But anyway, so I've used these today, and my first initial reaction to using these, and they're quite cheap. This is a Minimag Minimag tray. Apparently, is quite good.
Yeah.
Someone gave me them free at a event I was at, and then I used them a bit, and I was like, I'm going to get some more, and I've used them today, and I liked them.
Nice.
So,
if you like magnetized movement trays,
yes,
that's what you've used.
But unless anyone else has a better option, so far I've also used the movement trays from Element Games.
Yeah, they're the MDF ones.
They're the MDF
cheaper ones.
They're very cheap. You can just put some like double-sided like magnetic strip you can super glue in, and then you can put them on there. Problem is they've got like quite a thick rim, so what you end up because with these the edge of your base.
This is why I don't use movement trays, because it makes a difference to how close you can get things.
Exactly, but with these, you don't have that issue.
No.
So this does seem like it's designed with that in mind. I'm not trying to blow this thing's trumpet, but it's nice to have an option.
Yes, 100%.
And this so far is the best option
That's
I've
what
seen.
you've been using, yeah.
And Games Workshop have just released a kind of version like Element Games that are just shitty.
Well, I haven't really seen them yet, but they look
seen
quite
them.
expensive. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but they are also expensive.
Yeah, so it's like £25 per pack, and then like those 25 ml packs will be like 12 trays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 4 in the 40 ml pack.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad, especially
8
for like
in
people
one.
who just want to put stuff on the board. Like, I think that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
And it's nice that they now have an option.
Yeah, and if you only got 40 infantry models at like 32 ml bases, and 25 quid will get you trays for those. So.
I like the idea of no rim trays as Xtab, and that's what those would be. So they're really
No
good.
rimming.
Yeah. And then Schumer says movement trays are useful for putting some models on the squad, and that's also what's cool about those as well. Is because they only at first it felt counterintuitive. I was like, I want to put 10 things on a strip, but they don't let you. You can only put 3, and then they've got like additional bits that you can kind of add as extenders, or like.
Yeah.
But it means you can move 3. Move another 3,
Yeah.
move another 3, and then so you're not. I mean, you saving yourself a third the time there, which is quite nice.
And then we've done the Primaris Repulsor. So we've done the Primaris Repulsor.
So the
as well.
Primaris have got their new tank announced.
Yeah.
Looks lame. I don't like how the Repulsor looks, but if anyone doesn't agree with that,
I know some people.
it's grown
really
on me
like
though
it,
because I saw Tom Wallace's ones and they were painted.
Yeah,
great.
but that's Tom Wallace's one. Mate.
Yeah, they did look real pretty though. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles Black. I'm finding it easier and quicker not to use movement trays, but those do look good. They are quite good, man. I'll update you guys in a couple of weeks because I intend to use them a lot.
We'll do a weekly update on Rob's movement tray situation.
I think I would like to find the ideal movement tray.
Rob on his quest to find the holy movement tray.
Well, I would because then I'd like to be able to like relay that
of course,
to people. Like I don't think I've yet found the perfect transport case. Because
We could make one.
well, no, like KR cases are pretty great.
I really like KR.
I really like KR, but then I've seen the magnetic tray cases. They seem good.
Have I told you the story of Mike Tankshot Collins?
No, tell me about the
So
story.
he was the Welsh captain for a bit, and in I think it was 2015, he played against the Ukrainians. He was really ill, had a bit of a shit time. He got back to the UK. They got into his car. Simon was putting so he's the other Welsh player.
Yeah.
Was putting all the boxes back in the car, and Mike reversed his car and he heard a big crunch.
Oh.
And Simon had forgotten to put Mike's army in its KR cases.
No.
Back in the car, and Mike ran over his own army.
Oh my god.
Which is why we call him Tankshot Collins. They then contacted KR and they sent him a free case.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was really cool of them.
That is very cool of him.
Yeah.
All right. That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Mainly because Simon was a dunce.
Is that from what KR case?
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it?
yeah, dude.
All right, big shout out to you guys. That's
Yeah,
fucking
that was
cool.
good dudes.
CWA Craft says I met a guy who used a huge movement tray and moved his whole Necron army 6 inches back in their old decks. Wow. And IQ says, yeah, let us know about the movement tray. I've looked at a lot of them. I haven't pulled the trigger because I feel like I need to buy enough.
We'll have to do a movement tray review show.
Yeah, I guess so. I think one of the key elements is, like Charles is saying there, he's finding it easier and quicker not to use movement trays. And I know you don't.
I don't use them.
You don't use them, and I agree.
Because I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, you can be real quick, and also you can accidentally gain or lose a couple of inches when you do use a movement tray.
It's also about losing a little bit of space. So when you're charging an Orcs on 32mm bases, there's a way you can get 4 ranks back with charging Orcs, which you could do easily with 25s, but now you can do on 32s, but it's more tricky. And if you've got that little bit of a rim on the edge of your movement tray, you can't get it.
Yeah.
So I just play without it, so I can can be a little more finesse.
Yeah, which
with
is again
my
they don't
players.
have rims, so that's quite nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would be nice to eventually finalize how we feel about like a lot of products because that's how we've talked about paints a little bit today, haven't we? Right?
Yes.
It's like I think that's probably something we'll never be able to like put a pin in. But the ideal movement tray for competitive gaming, I reckon we could probably fucking knock that out of the park.
We could. Yeah.
Transport case.
That could be a. We could even do a cross AOS 40k show about just gaming apparel.
Well, yeah, because we actually are getting some things ordered for the web store for to do with measuring.
Cool.
So we'll get to that as well. Because I actually think that there's an ideal way to measure in the game as well.
Yeah.
More on that in the future. So the terrible repulsor tank has got a different gun.
Yep.
Sweet.
It looks like the thing on the Onager Dreamcrawler.
It does. And moving on to what's a pretty cool mechanic and vehicle, the Onager Dreamcrawler, and what is not.
The D-Day Lander.
Oh my god.
Have you seen the price on it?
Okay, tell me.
But what I heard was £85.
Shut up. No. Okay, Callum, thank you for subscribing to Twitch. Your first subscription, you're breathtaking.
That could be incorrect.
That's wrong. There's no way it's 85 quid.
That's what I heard.
No way in God's green and pleasant earth. I don't know
If it is, I wonder how many this sell.
So the Mechanicum Lander is £45. English grots.
Someone's been having a lie on me.
Schumer says it's 75
Even then,
bucks.
£45 is too much. Like, it's a rhino with some.
Well, we haven't seen its rules.
Garden hose wrapped
We haven't seen
around
its
the
rules. It might
outside.
just have a 5-up invulnerable save and make us all laugh.
Okay.
But it's 45 quid,
Yeah. Okay.
and it looks.
That's good to know. Have they released that this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't. Yeah.
And it sucks how it looks. And you can build.
It does
tank
look like
version.
a rhino with a garden hose wrapped around it.
Yeah, it's a shoebox covered in pipes. The Schumer game's exactly like the other one. Yeah, agreed. Some people will like it. It's got 4 heavy stubbers. So
Mikey'll like it.
calm down now. Yeah. Glorious imperial aesthetic.
Bottom boxes.
I just like.
I can't get into it personally, but to each their own, I guess.
So no? What the aesthetic? You're not into it?
No, not really.
Yeah, we talked about it in the show. Is it just a repulsor with a different gun? So
Repulsor, no.
That is just a repulsor, different gun, right?
Yeah, but I think it's going to have some different special rules as well.
Yeah, but it's just a repulsor. Like design wise,
It's like it's like the Land Raider variants.
No, Land Raider variants are quite like the Spartan looks very different.
I think they're all going to have a kind of similar chassis, but with different weapons and different fucking transport capacities.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Land Raider actual variants, if you go outside of Citadel and go to Forge World, like the Proteus is very different to the
I remember
Spartan.
the days when the Achilles and the Spartan were both broken.
Oh, Spartan's cool as hell.
Achilles,
right?
the one with the Thunderfire cannon out front, isn't it?
Yeah. And Watchfire says you're going to put 5 troops in it as well. If you're going to put 5 troops in it, I'm going to fucking make a burn video, like a full like.
It's more Primaris troops than you could put in any other vehicle.
Just a full. No, it's not.
Apart from the other
no,
repulsor.
he's talking about the Lander now for Mechanicum.
Ugh. What 5 models are you putting in that?
None. Those robots.
No. They don't fit. They're very bulky. You can fit 1 in. It's so shit, isn't it?
If it's got shit rules as well. Do you know what? I hope it has the worst rules.
At some point, we need to
in
do a
all of
show
40K.
on the worst unit in 40k.
No, I think we should do a transport show.
Yeah, I'll just do Wave Serpents again.
No, but we'll just but we'll look at all the transports in 40k.
Okay.
That should be.
So basically, we get to say Wave Serpent's good. I'm down for
Obviously.
that. Yeah, we love it. Yeah.
No repulsor reduced carrying capacity. It's kind of like the gun wagon the Orcs can use. A bad shooting tank that never wants to move, so it can shoot twice, but has the transport capacity, so it can transport things nowhere. Talking about
Jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. We're going to up its points cost so it can do a thing it's never going to do.
Perfect.
Yes.
Sold.
That's why I don't like the pilot.
I am against this vehicle so much as a Mechanicum player, and in my heart,
Hashtag not my transport.
yeah, hashtag not my transport. It just makes me sad because
Mechanical players have been waiting so long for a transport.
Well, we
and
have
they get
got
this
a bad.
pilot
To be
shit.
fair, we have got a badass one.
Do you?
Yeah, the Forge World one is badass.
There's a Forge World one?
Yeah, the
We
drill.
ban all Forge World.
The drill. Come on.
Oh, right, yeah, I didn't know.
That's
forgot
pretty
about the
cool,
drill.
man.
Yeah. That's
That's
fair.
pretty
That's
cool.
fair.
And sometimes we also transport some
But you say it's a
custodies in our
transport.
Calidius tanks.
That's like saying a drop pod is a transport.
Yeah. What, the drill?
Yeah, it just
Nah, man.
goes noom, doesn't it?
The drill's a transport. The drill's cool.
Okay.
I'm into the drill.
Right, yeah, we'll have to play a game where you bring a bunch of drills.
I have no drills.
You need to drill me.
Can't afford a drill. I would. No, we're not. Don't crystal me some drills. I like to use models, Tom. I'm into this
No,
because
seriously though, have you seen the fucking drills? Look at the drill. It's
I'm
like
gonna cut
3
one in
parts.
half.
Dude. Oh yeah, then you get value. So, but you've seen the drill, right? And it's like 3 little like spinny things at the end. They look are exactly the same shape as crystals, mate. I could do some work for you, mate.
You could send me your best quote.
Oh, well. 20 quid for two drills.
The transport drill is badass in my opinion.
there you go.
But the new
I've got it.
The new Citadel one sucks.
Okay.
I'd like to have the Triaris armored. I would like the Triaris armored transport. The most beautiful transport that you could ever want. There are 3 transports. There's also the Malkador. Is it called the Malkador?
Is that the one with the big? Is that the one that's so long you can't fit it in Dawn of War deployment without placing it sideways?
No, that's the Triaris armor conveyor. There's also a tank variant, and there's also the.
I'm thinking of a big flamer thing.
The the Explorator.
Vicarious.
No, it's something else. But there's another one as well, and that's sweet. And there's 3 beautiful transports inside the Mechanicum
We could do a Horus Heresy show because you love your Forge World.
I just like I think the Heresy range in particular, not the Heresy range, sorry, the Mechanicum range in particular.
Yeah. But you can use it in 30k.
I mean, the
right?
Imperial stuff looks like Imperial
You
stuff.
can use it in 30k though, right?
Yeah.
Right,
but
I'll just
not-
get on 30k and then we'll just do a 30k show. It'll be poggers.
It's so easy.
It's like 7th edition 40k. I could play 7th edition.
It's exactly like that.
I was better at 7th
Apart from
edition
Magnus
anyway.
is great.
Magnus, it was great in 7th edition.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I got someone attempting to 3D print one, says Grubby.
Ooh, a drill.
Oh, wow, did you actually see on that website that we will never talk about is they
Rob, do you want to go get a couple of water? mate?
Never.
And then
I'm going to hiccup the whole way through the
we'll
show.
get
It's
Rob
gonna
to
be
edit
fine.
this out. It's fine.
They
Not Rob, John.
do you know what? It doesn't matter. But someone's already 3D printed the Mechanicum vehicle that's not released yet.
The runner with the hose pipe.
Yeah, the D-Day lander.
Yeah, the Diesel Lander. Okay, good. Shall we bail before this gets worse?
Macro carried Explorator. Thank you, Jim Taylor. I love you so fucking much. Thank you.
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Mate, I got it.
Agamemnon, the Explorator is fantastic looking. If only they would give it 40k rules. Guess no, Sirrat.
Mate, is that a bottle of water behind you?
Nope.
Fuck it.
Nope. I was here too long last night. No, I'm joking.
Oh, fuck's sake. It's clear, so that's a good sign.
Warp Spider says, right, okay, well, we're going now then. This has been wonderful.
Fucking hell. This is so scuffed. What happened here?
Oh, Nick, we miss you so much.
We need someone to riff with while Rob hiccups.
Yeah. Tom, got any final thoughts this week about 40k?
No. I had to think.
You're going to an event this weekend, aren't you?
I am going to the Northern Warlords team tournament. That should be fun. 22 teams of 4 players. Assuming I can get my army painted.
Congratulations.
If not, it'll be 21 teams of 4 players and 1 team of 3 players. So yeah, hopefully I'll be there.
Good luck.
No, thank you very much.
Your
Should
team,
be
what's
fun.
your team called?
Purple Nasties.
I've heard of them.
Yes. We played at the GW team event.
Oh, congratulations, Purple Nasties. Good luck to everyone.
And there's no soft scores this time, so we're going for it. Poggers.
I hope everyone has had a great day.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
And you.
We'll be more 40k next week.
That's getting an emote.
Yeah, let everyone know. Message, drop us a line. Everyone on Patreon and Twitch, you fucking got big. You're breathtaking.
Yeah.
You've taken my breath away.
Yeah. You can confuse Slanice too.
Ooh, pardon me. Huh?
They can confuse Slanice
I can't wait
too.
to play some Apocalypse, maybe.
Yeah, it should be fun. We should get us sorted on stream.
And some Kill Team.
Play both at the same time.
We're going to be able to do the best Kill Team game you've ever seen live.
We can split the board into one Apocalypse game.
I'm going to get you and Nick to play, and I'm going to just do the fucking camera work. I
You're
promise
just
you.
going to play with your toys.
Yeah, next week.
You can show
next
them your
week.
toys.
I think if Nick's available, can you play? Do you know Kill Team? Do you have to play?
I'm sure I can learn.
Next week, watch Tom learn to play
Kill Team.
Kill Team. And we'll have a badass time together. You guys are all wonderful. Hope you're grubby. I agree with you. Please let us use the Triaris armor conveyor. If anyone does buy the Mechanicum transport, I hate you forever. Fuck you.
Agreed. Fuck you. Bye.
Everyone have a great day. Bye.